Good evening, North America, and welcome into your turn of Day 2 of Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series for the 2021 season. I'm Spaceman, that is Fox and Alley, and they are my commentators and analysts as we'll be bringing you through the action tonight. Up last to bat here is North America with 2 matches on the docket, and when we get into those, we will wrap up the end of Day 2 and the end of Week 1 of Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series. First off, it was Mavericks defeating Team War 3-2 to kick off Europe earlier, and then Orglis took down Rejects 3-0 in a very hot 3-0 fashion. Now coming up, we got Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back, a powerhouse of a matchup to start North America, followed by UYU versus Built by Gamers, and once more, a powerhouse to kick off North America that will be rounding out tonight. There's a lot of storylines to get into and a lot to talk about, but I just want to say hello to my commentators. Fox, first of all, how you doing? Welcome back from the break, and talk to me about the matches coming up tonight. Who are you most excited to watch?
Feeling good, man. We're getting back to the North American region. I'm most looking forward to see what Team Canada is about. Of course, we got Royalty and Exotic, the Canadians on the roster, some of the more storied players in the Tier 2 scene in Call of Duty Esports, and I'm really looking forward to see their matchup here against No One Shoots Back, one of the newer comers to our to Season 5 here for the Challenger Series.
And Allie, right after this one, it's UYU and Built by Gamers going head-to-head on the mainstream. Are you excited about that matchup, or is it the first one here for us, Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back, that you're most looking forward to?
Honestly, it's very hard to choose between these matches because BBG versus UIU, you have BBG, which is interesting enough, the team that hasn't really made any roster changes thus far, and UIU is a completely new roster that we have yet to see in our Challengers Elite Series, so that in its own is enough of a storyline. But with Team Canada, I'm just happy Exotic found a good home. He has been done lights out, I feel like, thus far in Cold War, and to see him joined by the likes of Diamond Khan and Dave Patty, I am just so excited to see what they do.
And speaking of the lineups and the matchups, let's take a look at the standings, because these are where the storylines are made, folks. We've had a couple of matches here, both on the mainstream and the community stream. Shout out to those guys as well. As Jabbawockeez at a 2-0, 6-1 map count, perfect win percentage in first place, followed by Lore Gaming, that's Parasite and Company, down to UYU, all the way down to bottom 8, Trash Bros, 0-2. Your reigning Season 4 champions have yet to win a series going into Stage 5. That shows you the competence and the poise that a lot of these players have in North America, but more importantly, the talent is so pure up here. Team Canada about dead middle at spot number 5, and Built by Gamers, who are arguably one of the most consistent teams in this region, are currently in 4th place at 1-1. So looking at kind of across the board, the stand-up for me is that Built by Gamers are currently 1-1, because I think this is probably the biggest season for them to potentially win it all. But Fox, looking at how we had those standings, was there anything specifically that you saw that stood out to you? Jabbawockeez in first place. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, we got to see, I actually wanted to talk more about your point on Built by Gamers. We got to see them just a couple weeks ago playing against Trash Bros, trying to get that first championship, and seeing them at the top of the list should be no surprise. I expect to see them continue to be a force here in North America. Jabbawockeez we had our first introduction to them yesterday, and it was a good one. So I'm going to be following them closely throughout the remainder of this stage.
Allie, a couple of top teams shaking themselves out, but Built by Gamers not yet in that top 4 conversation. It just, at least with the standings wise, everybody calm down. What do you think needs to happen tonight for them to start moving up the rankings, or is there something else entirely that you're keeping notes on?
It's kind of like how I talked about Team War earlier during our EU series, is you stay together as a team, but sometimes, you just hit a wall, and sometimes, you've reached as far as you can go. So I'm hoping Built by Gamers still has a very high ceiling, and they're continuously reaching towards that. But we're at the end of the line for them here, and for them to be 1-1 already, for being a team that has been continuously in a top contender conversation and stuck together for this long, we need to see a change out of them, and we need to see it now, because, I mean, there's so much money on the line, there's so much on the line in general, so much work on the line, that all that hard work and that dedication to stick with that team needs to start showing up.
Yeah, had this been any other season, days 1 and 2 is the start of week 1, maybe the start of week 2, you could be in that discussion of, okay, there's time to bounce back and don't worry too much about the early losses, but we're in stage 5. We're at the very end of the regular season, so this is when you need to be at your absolute best at all times, and that means starting off your days early in days 1 and 2 of the first week. Now, let's get into the maps, because the maps are what we are all here to watch and to commentate over. It's going to be Garrison, followed by Raid, followed by Garrison, followed by Raid, and then guess what? Moscow just for giggles at the end. But we got Hardpoint on Garrison and then S&D dead center with Raid. And this back and forth we've seen a couple of times. This is kind of what the season, I believe, 3 status used to be, with a lot of Garrisons, a lot of Raids, and then a Moscow to close it out. We're seeing that same storyline come back here in season 5. Fox, looking at the layout here, Team Canada, no one shoots back. Any specific map mode combo that stands out to you for a specific team? What are you thinking and why?
I'm thinking about one of the last times we got to see Dav Patty go off on Garrison. I think it was a Hardpoint. I want to say it was either Hardpoint or Control. But he goes on this crazy 7 streak using an AR. I mean, the guy's movement was just crazy. He was always in your face. And now he's got a pretty star-studded lineup here on Team Canada. I mean, I'd be pretty afraid to go against him.
I mean, the last time I remember really seeing Dav Patty was back when he was on that former Fantastic Four roster earlier this year, which had the likes of Sib and Decimate and Draza for a time. Standy as well before he eventually got pulled up. But they had issues on that particular map, and that team in general had issues. But regardless, Dav Patty is an absolute standout. We know what a talent he is. Ali, Team Canada, no one shoots back. Of these two teams, do you think any of these maps or the pool in general has favored on one side?
The only ones I would think maybe a little bit of a favorite would be Raid, just because of Exotic and Royalty on Team Canada, our little vets that we got going on over there. But I don't think the maps too much are lenient in either favor. As much as I'm looking at the team comp, I'm heavily favoring Team Canada going into this, just because I am so excited seeing this roster on paper. For me, it just, I mean, for me, I would expect them to be pretty lights out. And for no one shoots back, that roster just kind of tells me there's a lot of individual talent, but in no way, shape, or form would I put this team together on my own out of the pool of players in NA. So I don't have too many high hopes for them. Not to mention they're already starting off 0-2, so either they're going to come out aggressive as heck against Canada, or they're going to get slammed.
I like the confidence. Allie's been on it today. She's saying it's going to be a hot 3-0s. This team's going to get slammed. We're getting Allie like out of her shell. We're just really turning her into a toxic person. I love it. It's so good. But this is what's interesting for me, and I'm going to kind of try to round out this storyline and make it kind of positive for both sides, right? You got Team Canada, who came in second in the Challengers Cup number 16. They were first in the 4th Open. And on the other side, no one shoots back, came second in the Open. They were the ones that lost to Team Canada in that matchup. So these two teams have a little bit of history. They already have some cadence against one another, and the chemistry might play off nicely in this matchup. Fox, do you think that having that competition in a high-stakes tournament like the Opens just maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, do you think that having that recency against one another might play to no one shoots back's benefit in this matchup?
It could. It very well could, because you want to get those reps in, right? That's what these guys are scrimming for. Hell, even these matches as we get into playoffs is a part of that. You want to keep getting those reps in, and as the stakes get raised higher and higher, you just get more and more used to that competition, and it's all going to matter when we're playing for that first place spot, trying to get that $20,000 check to split between your squad. So we'll see how it all unfolds in tonight's matches.
And again, if you guys are enjoying the action, let us know in the YouTube chat who you picking going into this matchup. Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back. It's important to also note that both these teams played through the Season 5 qualifiers to get to this point. So it's not like these teams have had different amalgamations of the rosters, because of course they have, but the consistency is there for these players. That's the big takeaway, right? With all of the chaos that North American Challengers has been all of this year, with the multiple different roster changes and the multiple different times players have been dropped before the roster lock, you always see the same ones rising to the top and finding their way into this position. You look at players like DiamondCon, Exotic, Royalty. There is a reason they are here now, and Dav Patty is a wonderful addition to this team. And then you look on the other side, ProLoot and Spart. I mean, this is a situation where we had former members of the New York Subliners Academy team back in Season 1 that took home the North American Championship, who have been on many different rosters and many different forms of that style. That team really no longer exists, and we've split those players off, put them their separate ways, and now we get to watch some Hardpoint. Let's get into Game 1. It's Garrison Hardpoint up first. The start of North America kicks off for Season 5. Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back for Day 2 here of the Challengers Elite Series. I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to watch it. Allie, you're going to be joining me for the call. Who do you want to look on board with first, and who do you think is going to be a standout on this map?
I already want to be on board with Dave Patty just to see what he kind of adds onto his roster, and already he's lighting up the kill feed. Dave Patty already 1-0. No time really going to either side just yet, as it's a little bit of a scrappy P1 right off the bat. Wouldn't expect anything less, but ProLoot and Spart are having a little bit of a hot start at 2-1, and again, no time seriously going to either side just yet.
Well, Fire came into this roster in place of Draza, who again got called back up, but there's been a couple of different situations for No One Shoots Back where they were running with Johnny Tsunami for a while. We saw them in the New York Subliners Power Players Cup for a couple of weeks. Fire's back in place. Spart and Prolute, that duo from New York Subliners Academy and Champs in Season 1 have been so electric and so damn good this whole year. You're going to need a full performance out of them in this matchup. But remember, both these teams have played each other just a couple of weeks ago, and walking away, it was Team Canada who got the victory in that Open 4. And once more, we want to shout out the observing team that we have here at the Call of Duty Challengers. Waldo and Kyle, two of the best in the business. They continue to do their job to perfection, giving us the very best POV and gameplay to watch. We couldn't do our job without them doing theirs. Shout out to them. Fire able to find two, and they break into the hill.
What should have been very scary for No One Shoots Back as they were starting to fall. Fire finds a two-piece that keeps them alive in this peak too. And not even that, they're holding it from the front, so a lot of time is going their way to give them almost a 40-point lead and forcing Team Canada into a spawn trap. They have to flip the switch here soon, or No One Shoots Back could be looking at a very comfortable rest of this hardpoint.
We talk a lot about duos, and I was watching Royalty and Exotic back when that Triumph roster was still kind of around here. General Mayhem filled out the rest of that team before, and we were always wondering, well, this is going to be a team that could kind of create some stunner upsets? Would they be able to gun with the likes of Parasite and gun with the likes of Sib currently in Challengers? Well, that team disbanded, and now we get a nice amalgamation of a bunch of different talent. Diamond Con, Royalty, Exotic, and Dav Patty are a force on the map. Team Canada taking home a couple of victories, but the big one was the first place finish in Open number 4. They did get second in the 16th Challenger Cup, but I expect a different result here. Currently, they have about a 50-point lead, and we rotate to P3 with 40 seconds to go. Fire on your screen, looking for the entry kills, but don't worry, Dab Patty will be in the back, ready and waiting. Shots are out, and the kill is goad. Mohawk now up last to bat, and he gets shot down.
Beautiful hold by Team Canada here. This is exactly what they need to put themselves back in the game. This full 60 that puts them right back at an even scoreline, but they do need to worry about pushing out for next. The team's Diamond Con tried to get onto that, but he does get picked off by Mohawk in mid. So now they might have a little bit of a defensive line to have to kind of push their way past, but that's perfectly fine as the last 20 seconds go to the side of Team Canada. Dav Patty is 12-5 on a force spree. Royalty as well, finding a force spree of his own. It seems Team Canada is starting to heat up. They have now flipped the spawn successfully and making it past the early rotation hold from the No One Shoots Back. No time going either side just yet, but it seems Team Canada is looking to make the wipe.
Yeah, it was Royalty on the roam and Dab Patty with the streak, but he got shut down quickly, so no more streaks will be in the conversation. Royalty with crispy shots to shut down Fire. Nice headshot at the kill feed, but inside the hard point for the moment. No One Shoots Back, getting a solid bit of time currently on this opening hill, trying to push their way in for the front subs, but everyone getting cut. And now we look at the rotation off spawn for Dab Patty. A long bit of work he has to make his way over. Does he get positioning in mid-map? So far, so good. Working on his screen now. He'll completely smoke Prolute out of lights, playing his life to perfection. 14-7, double positive, but with all is said and done, Team Canada have been putting up kills, sure. Fire with 2, but it just always seems like No One Shoots Back, always have numbers inside the point, and with all that chaos on the outside, they still maintain the lead.
No One Shoots Back has been doing a great job of holding these points and now giving themselves a comfortable 40-point lead as Team Canada and our last hill is trying to dwindle that very slowly but surely. But as we get to a new hill, Team Canada is going to be the first to touch and set up. So both of these teams have done fantastic jobs of getting their early rotations and holding as much time as possible. So it might come down to the scrap at this point when it comes to both of these teams, as Team Canada are looking to close the gap.
Yeah, we go to P5 on the adjacent side of the floor, but all the way to the top side of the minimap. Spawns are out for No One Shoots Back, so they have to make the long rotation in, and that comes to those entry kills. Mohawk is able to find one. Royalty will clean up the second, and here comes a couple of trade opportunities. If they break on through, they're going to get good time, but don't worry. Royalty and Dav Patty combining with Diamond Con, that's 3 dead, and this is perfect time to get in, tie up this game, and watch for those back spawns. Prolute trying to circle his way around successfully with that. Exotic throwing some warning shots out. Don't you dare challenge this once more. Prolute says, hell to that. I'm going to come out for the peak. Wins the gunfight as well. Works his way into the hill. He has teammates in there for support. And what a response. The funnel comes through. The Sharks are circling, but all good in the kill feed. No One Shoots Back. Get the time. And now they're on their early break.
Royalty pushing Old somehow works in Team Canada's favor as he gets the split spawn for his team. So not only now do they get to shoot No One Shoots Back in the back, but they also are getting the first couple of seconds of time going their way. They should possibly see a lead change here as Exotic has completely taken control of green and brick side. He might get a couple spawn kills here as all of No One Shoots Back is coming out of the back, but pay attention to your mini map. That's going to be Sparty number 4, who was hoping maybe to hit a little bit of a flank, but I guess peaked too early as Royalty shut that down very quickly. And the lead change goes in favor of Team Canada, 120 to 104. No One Shoots Back is trying to be funneled through green, but Royalty is not letting anyone pass. The contest comes through, but 20 seconds left on the clock. They have to start worrying about rotation, and the first people that are going to be there is going to be Mohawk on the side of No One Shoots Back.
Worried about those ARs in the back. Speaking of which, Mohawk ready and waiting as the new hill will pop. He'll be at radar. Can he find anything? Yeah, he gets at least one. Here comes the challenge from the side, and it's a big gunfight he has to win to hold on to these spawns, and reinforcements are funneling quickly, but Fire ends up taking his own teammate. So Spark, the only one really left alive near the point. He'll have one on the outside. It's Fire 17 and 15. Diamondcon trying to throw some shots back and clean up a couple inside the hill. This is a big break for Team Canada, but No One Shoots Back or stacking at the top of the stairs. You can contest from basically anywhere now, and here come the numbers, here come the trades, and what a shot from Diamondcon. He cleans up everything. They get in for the break, they maintain this lead, and they build upon it even more. 13 and 13 on a 4 spree. Look at where the minimap is, and look at where the spawns are as well. No One Shoots Back, have to make the late rotation, and they're running right into the sights of Diamondcon. It's 5 in a row. He's getting close to streaks.
A lot of investment of No One Shoots Back those last 20 seconds, and Team Canada are just not giving it up to them. Royalty and Exotic to combine to find 2, and they are still investing to this P2. That's going to be Mohawk and Prelude in green. They do get a shutdown kill, but the time is still going to the side of Team Canada. But look at your mini map, all spread out across is going to be No One Shoots Back. They are setting up a very large hold here, going into this next hill, hoping to make it a money hill and get that full 6. In Canada are already making their way across the map though as they find one and get the trade out, but thankfully No One Shoots Back does have spawn, so nothing just yet. But Exotic and Royalty take down 2. You should never get that free kill from the front of this hill, but Team Canada does it, so they should be able to start holding this from the front and spawn trapping No One Shoots Back.
Spark feeling very confident on the push-up because spawns are still in the back, but with these slides out, these gunfights get ever more tiresome, and the trickiness really comes down to hitting your shots. Dabbawockeez throwing out a couple, but no one was around to receive, and now we look at situations where one good break is all that's needed. Spark with a great piece, 3 in a row. I don't know how he hits those shots, but 20 and 18 on a 3 spree, takes out the trophy as well, just for good measure. Dabbawockeez throwing a couple back of his own. There's 2 more. Mohawk has to be careful. Dabbawockeez is hitting everything. This is unreal right now what both teams are doing with those ARs. Royalty making it look easy in the kill feed, 2 dead, and the new hill will pop to P4. We go to rotation. It's going to come up to the subs on the wing. Can they find anything? Prelude 18-20 has to at least find 1 on the break, but so far shots ring out. He gets tagged. Here comes the challenge. Mohawk with 2. Prelude is there, and he gets the kill.
What a easy break from No One Shoots Back as they quickly make work of Team Canada, and all 4 drop. But Diamondcon, they're going to try and push their way through green here, but they're going to run to the pre-fire as Sparty, and again, he just got that 3-piece. He is off momentum right now, but the trades do go in favor of Team Canada. However, they still have about 20 points to work, of wiggle room to work with to break into the sail. Fire and Mohawk are desperately trying to hang on, and the cavalry is there, so time going to the way up. No One Shoots Back. We may see a lead change here as there is 20 seconds left on this hill. Team Canada looking to make a large investment onto the old here, but I do believe they should be more worried about rotation as this next hill should break either of these teams to the 200 point, and that's when things start to get scary. 8 and 6, that's going to be Royalty and Dabbawockeez, the first to touch the new hill.
It's almost like these teams know each other so well, almost like they've played against one another in the Challengers Cups a couple of times. Very interesting storylines here as Mohawk will throw out a couple, but so far the shots ring and lights, and everyone's getting lit up in the kill feed. That's 2 traded for both sides, and now dead even at a 2-2 split. Back to full strength for everyone. Who's going to be the first one to move into the hard point? Well, Prelude doing his best, but Royalty's working from the other side, and he words around and is able to find a kill. Exotic and Royalty find 2. 190 to 200. The lead continues from Team Canada. It has been so close in this game 1 hard point, but it has been all of the boys in red. Royalty about to drop a 30 bomb, only 1 more kill needed on a 2 spree. Fire with the sub in hand. We usually see him with that AR, but on Garrison, anything goes. Great shots again. Prelude off spawn, making it look easy. Now you just need to start playing off that scrap time. No One Shoots Back, have not been able to get into the hard point, and they need to start bringing themselves back.
Huge flank from Prelude as he got that spawn behind Team Canada, but it did seem like they were ready for it. But thankfully, some more of his teammates were there to get that wipe onto Team Canada. But again, they didn't even get that final 20 seconds of scrap time. No one from No One Shoots Back ended up rotating over there. They were too worried about P1, and now that it's popped, they are in it initially, but they're about to get slammed on by Team Canada. But Mohawk and Sparty hold on for just a couple seconds longer. Royalty needs to go huge here if they want to get control of this P1. He will get shut down. No time going either way, just far. No One Shoots Back does able to touch it. 202, it's 214. No One Shoots Back is only about 10 points from making that lead change, and it's all going to happen here on this P1.
And neither team can win it here just with that contest alone. So we will be going to a P2. We will be going to Radar. Who's going to win that rotation? But we stay here in the chaos. Exotic trying to fight for his life. There's a nade out and a slide and a great challenge as well. But it's absolute pandemonium on the point. Still about a 10-point lead for Team Canada. But how long will it last? Sport with a massive position in top green. He's going to cut down Diamond Con. What a win that is. And here comes the nade for good measure. Exotic almost gets beamed. But Exotic walks away victorious. And the numbers follow suit. They have positioning here, and they have reinforcements. Here comes the flood. It's now time for No One Shoots Back to make their move. Mohawk on your screen. He's going to try to funnel through, and he will pick up Dab Patty. Exotic working through the back, challenging, winning the contest, and winning the time. Almost at a tie game. 50 seconds to go. The collapse from both teams. It's looking so chaotic, and it already is. A couple more trades in the hill.
I can't believe Team Canada lost that and moved out of it. I mean, they just played hooky with Prelude while he was in Hill, and then nobody was able to shut him down. So that allowed all of No One Shoots Back to flood through the back and not only gain spawn, but now they are only 10 points away from winning it. It's all going to be up to Diamond Con. He has to shut down Prelude and Hill. He's able to do it, but number 3, Fire, is going to have something to say about that if he pushes out of green. Team Canada have to have a perfect hold here if they want to take this hard point. 237 to 226. Team Canada is in control of the scrap time. 16 seconds left on the clock. That's not going to be enough for them to win it, and it's all up to Royalty to 1v3 the new spawns in the hill. He's unable to do it. All of Team Canada, they have one push here. Little do they know, though, 3 and 2, Fire and Mohawk are going to be behind them as they got split spawned. So it's only going to be up to Royalty and Exotic and Dab Patty coming in through the front. Mohawk finds one. Royalty gets the trade out. 10 seconds left. No One Shoots Back. Only need 5 more seconds. Team Canada are flooding through the front. Now trades could go in favor of Team Canada. Nobody's on the hill just yet, but No One Shoots Back still has spawns.
You only need 4 seconds, but here comes the collapse. 20 seconds to go. Who's going to be on it? It's still No One Shoots Back. They're still on the point, but no one yet getting their foot in. Prelude on your screen wins a big beatdown. That might be it. 250 to 238. Chaos in the final couple of moments. The spawns in the back work perfection. It's a big win in game 1. And once more, No One Shoots Back. Hold on to the late push, that late grab near the bottom. But the spawns were so far out for Team Canada, they had no choice but to fight the fight head on directly in the hill and put numbers inside. Regardless of the decision, No One Shoots Back, survive game 1, and they win a big one in the end. I mean, Prelude with a nice beatdown. It was a simple play, but guess what? It gets the job done. They take map 1. Wow, that one was pretty close all the way down to the wire, Allie. I mean, you were talking about like spawns in the middle of it, and you know, when people were hitting the rotation, you're saying a couple of players playing hooky in the hill. What were you seeing in those last couple of hills that really stood out to you, and what did Team Canada need to do different that kind of evaded them as this game got away?
They just kept getting picked out. They kept getting caught out of position. Team Canada, I feel like this is a perfect team that once they're playing together in their group, like it's impossible to take them apart. But once they're split out as much as they were, and they were kind of panicking just to get in the hill, they started making small mistakes. So you see Mohawk right here. I mean, he is playing a hooky in hill. There's no reason he should have been alive for this long, not to mention to take down 2 players while he was at it. And things like that happened a lot, especially on that P2 throughout all of our rotations. And that's pretty much what won No One Shoots Back the game, is being able to play your life like that, and Team Canada just being unable to shut it down.
I mean, Spart was huge in this game. So was Prelude. Mohawk doing everything right. Fire at 31 and 26. And I feel like it was a bit of a quiet 31, right? Like there are times when you're just putting numbers on the board, but the score doesn't reflect the effort. And this was a situation where it just came down to the wire. Luckily, everyone was able to contribute at the opportune time. And No One Shoots Back will walk away with the win in game 1. Now we go to an S&D for Team Canada. Just quick mental breather, hit the regain, bounce back, go into this S&D like nothing happened. But this was a big map 1 because you always want to kind of set the tone early, and it seemed like they did. No One Shoots Back found ways to bring it back when the hardpoints were out of their grasp. Multiple instances on those P4s and P5s on the bottom where they just were getting outslayed around the corners, but they were eventually able to slow it down, realized where spawns were coming from, kind of locked them into their own, and utilized the sub pressure they had on the floor to help dictate the future hills. It looked like they were able to kind of get everything on the same page, and that's what you need to do, whether it's an IGL or just someone calling the shots. They slowed it down. They did their job. We go to game 2. Allie, Team Canada, who do you need to see step up? Who is it specifically? Or is it just the way you need to play this next map? Well, sometimes, you get in these situations where it's just a back and forth battle all the way down to the end. That is why we always played more maps in esports. It's wonderful. We got game 2 coming up shortly. It's S&D, and I could not be more excited to see both these teams compete against one another. Of course, we know how they've played before, right? You see both of these rosters who qualified through the Stage 5 playoffs, or I shouldn't say playoffs, but they used the Stage 5 qualifier to get into the Elite Series, and from there, I mean, they played each other in the Challengers Cup, just to remind you. Challengers Cup number 16. It was second place for Team Canada, first place for No One Shoots Back, first in the Open 4 for Team Canada, second in the Open 4 for No One Shoots Back. There was multiple chances here where it seemed like Team Canada were going to be able to take the lead and kind of grow that, but regardless, it's a close hard point, and we got more Call of Duty to play. Now we got Raid S&D. Allie, welcome back. Going into Raid, it's a neutralizing map. Who's the X factor for you?
I love when you call Raid a neutralizing map, because for me, I feel like, at least for teams that have some older players on it, it's almost like a little bit of an advantage. But going into Raid, I'm looking at Dave and Royalty on the side of Team Canada just because of that Hardpoint. I mean, they were playing lights out, and I don't know if maybe they just need a little bit more of a step up from the likes of Exotic and Diamond Cons. But I mean, that was such a close match. I don't see why they couldn't come back here in the S&D, and No One Shoots Back. Fire and Proloot, I mean, excuse the pun, they were on fire. And then Spart as well, getting those 3 pieces, which really would just shut down the hill at that point and gain them, 30, 40 points. And going into
Right.
S&D with those isolated gunfights, should they all play aggressive and push together, that could be very scary for the side of Team Canada if they go off the momentum from that hard point.
Now, I'm going to hit you with what I don't have the answer to, but you might because you're smarter than me. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Fire, of course, went up to play with Paris Legion for a while, and we've seen so many of our young players move up to the league, and it feels like a proud parent moment when you do see them get recruited. But do you think that practice up there and the reps he had at the actual league have helped him coming back down? Surely that sounds like a dumb question, but honestly, it seems like he's a much more fluid player coming back down, just comparing some of his mental gameplay that he had, a couple of months ago compared to when he was in the league and now back down here. He looks much more fluid on the map. Do you think that those reps and that practice he had has changed him?
Possibly. Honestly, the talk about challengers being, a bit more of a grind nowadays, is very, very real, because the amount of work that they have to put in 24/7. I mean, there's constantly tournaments, they're constantly qualifiers and opens, and they're constantly playing and wanting to get better. The grind through challengers is a very, very tough one. And, kind of being reminded of that, being pulled back into that, and kind of remembering what it was like to, grind your way to the top. You never know. It definitely could have overturned him as a player.
Yeah, and kind of looking at his journey as well, he came in place of Draza on this roster. It used to be Mohawk, Spart, Proloot, and Draza. Draza, of course, gets called up. Fire comes in, and Fire was teaming with Yeez, Hamza Frosty, and Parasite on Wester just a couple of weeks ago. And we know that, obviously things transpire. A couple players get dropped. There's a lot of craziness and nonsense before the roster lock. Parasite's now on a new team, and Yeez as well. Frosty is now not in the Elite Series because of kind of how things transpire with TJ Halley and Methods on that team, and I'm sure at some point we'll see Censor, but you got Fire coming into this roster, and while Mohawk, Spart, and Proloot have played with Johnny Tsunami for a couple of smaller events, I think Fire fits in really, really well. Clearly, he's dropping 35 bombs and hard points. He's helping contribute, and that kind of firepower, no pun intended, is really what sends teams over the top. But Spart and Proloot, that duo, that dichotomy they've had since season 1. I mean, it's you talk about Europe and duos. This is one of the most prolific duos in North America, and it's always fun to watch how they kind of progress their game around one another. You can tell that Spart and Proloot are much more confident on the map than they were in the start of the season, obviously, but they bring something to the table, Allie, that many teams would love to have. It is just unreal how good they are at this game.
I completely agree, and it's always my favorite. Sub duos are like one of my favorite things to talk about, because I just think it's incredible how that's kind of a thing. You always have kind of your entry and then your outslayer, and when they're both on their game, it's like an unstoppable force on the map. Just like you have Nasty and Harry in the EU side of things. I see that in Proloot and Spart as well when they're on top of their game. And the same thing with that is they've been a duo for so long. You know, they've been on so many rosters together and stuck together. You know, we talk about that NYSL Academy, which, you know, rest in peace to that roster who was just, you know, knocked out in the beginning of our qualifiers. Seeing them stick together now and seeing them, you know, succeed and make it work on all these new rosters is definitely something to watch.
Yeah, there was a moment in time when we were covering North America this season where it seemed like New York Subliners Academy, Easter, Wester, like that was kind of like the top three. There was no chance anyone was going to beat them. There was no way we wouldn't see them stick together as a core group, regardless if people got plucked up to the league. And then now there's none of them. You're absolutely right. Like, it doesn't exist. And regardless of the roster chaos, there's been team chaos as well. Like, we've gone through some different iterations of team makeups, team chemistry, organizations that have dropped in and out, and just kind of, you know, early year staples, Easter and Wester, like big names in challengers, in the Challenger circuit, in the Challengers Elite Series, big names made by players that now just really, obviously they still exist, but, you know, Wester didn't qualify in. They just don't really exist right now, at least in this stage of the Challengers Elite Series. So it's just wild how the progression of North America has happened this entire year, and how crazy things have gotten. But we've seen this kind of all throughout the year, amalgamations of teams and, you know, players kind of reconstituting what worked on other rosters. Diamond Con, Royalty, Exotic, and Death Patty, you have a duo there from the Triumph team from, like, you know, a month ago. Diamond Con, who of course was on New York Subliners Academy for a while, then pulled up to the actual full New York Subliners roster, back down to Challengers. And Dav Patty, who comes in here and was teaming with Sib and Draza and Decimate and Standy before Standy got called up. So there has been so many different changes and working parts in North America. It's been a headache, but it's absolutely awesome to watch all these players moving in different ways. But Allie, kind of closing thoughts real quick before we throw to a break. Who you got going into this? Who you taking in game two?
I still want to favor Team Canada. That's at that point, it's caster's bias, but No One Shoots Back has definitely completely taken me aback at that point. They came out swinging, and for them to take that map one, I mean, there's no reason that they couldn't continue that on in the series.
We'll find out what happens. We have to wait and play the game, but before we get there, we have to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, game two of Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back. We'll see you in a moment. Welcome back, you beautiful little demons. Welcome back into the S&D. It's getting underway here for game number 2. Spart throwing out a couple nades, and both these teams currently sitting in this series. It was a 1-0 win. That sounds stupid out loud, and that's my job. No one shoots back. Took the hard point in pretty close fashion, but regardless, it's a win nonetheless. They're up 1-0 in the series. Let's get into the S&D.
Already bombed down very quickly onto the A side. Not only that, but first blood happened in all of the chaos as well. Exotic trying to make a long flank here, but he's going to be met by the pre-aim of Mohawk as well, so he's going to fall. And now it is a 4v3 Patty and Diamond. You have 23 seconds, more so less, because that bomb needs to be defused as well. A lot of work to be done here. It's looking like the first match of the first round of S&D is going to go in favor of no one shoots back.
I don't know what DiamondCon's on, but right now he is different, feeling it, and Prolude gets the win. I thought if DiamondCon clutches this, I'm going to lose it, but don't worry, no one shoots back, clutches up, a bit of chaos in the back. Guard and control all there. Prolude was just snapping. Those shots are crispy getting started into game 2. Quite a little pause, but we're back in it. And it's fun to watch both these teams go at it. You're seeing some of the very best players and best talent in North America currently on this raid S&D, which is a wonderful thing to say. Switching sides we go. Round number 2 currently up on your screens. If you're just joining us, you missed a close hard point. Currently series lead 1-0. No one shoots back. This is the first match of the night for North America. After this, UYU versus Built by Gamers. Another huge match we can't wait to get into, but your bomb carrier will be DiamondCon. Let's see what they do.
Mohawk and Prolate respectively 2 and 0. Excuse me, as soon as I say that, Mohawk decides to get first blood as well. 3 streak for him already. Bomb is left out in the middle of circle currently. Team Canada, they are surrounded currently by no one shoots back. Not to mention they have to go pick up the bomb in no man's land. All 4 players of no one shoots back are looking to flood this out as they take down Exotic. The team shots are in. Mohawk finds 4. And now it is just Dav Patty. A little bit of an old strat we saw not too long ago as he's laying in the garden hoping to take a couple down as he finds 2, but inevitably gets shut down by the rest of no one shoots back. And in a very quick fashion already, this S&D has gone up 2-0 and no one shoots back favor.
I wasn't worried until this happened. This lineup right here, I thought for a moment, oh my sweet lord, we're going to see something disgusting and I'm going to scream. But we switch sides and we hold on for dear life and cross our fingers everything is okay. But currently up 2-0, no one shoots back. I'll make sure I write that down just in case. Things looking good. Easy, simple, Prolute 4-0. 3-2 for Dav Patty. Exotic still hunting for his first. Same with Royalty. And Fire Mohawk. Or excuse me, Fire in that column. Mohawk 4-1. Spart trying to find that first blood. Everybody running up right through Zig. Will anybody get caught? Royalty throwing out some shots. Fire finds the first blood. And here goes Prolute right on to B.
No one shoots back, not even giving Team Canada time to think as the bomb goes down and first blood is already gone and dusted. Spart and Fire at this point are just here for support as Mohawk and Prolute are 4-1 and 4-0 respectively. I mean, no one from Team Canada is able to shut this down. 4v1 Exotic, you have a lot of work to do. If you're going to do it, you can do it now. He pulls out Dynamite, but it doesn't work in his favor. No one shoots back, making quick work not only from the hard point, now into the S&D up 3-0. I don't believe anyone on the side no one shoots back even fell during that round, Sean.
There's a clean wipe across the board. You're absolutely right, Ali. And here's the thing. 3-0s are great, but it's also a bit of a curse in COD. You're up 3-0 and you're thinking, oh, we're winning this easy. And yeah, you know, you'd be surprised how many times teams bring it back. This is the biggest round so far. Rounds 4, 5, and 6 are what decide this game. If Royalty is able to find anything, surely things will be looking different for Team Canada. Let's see how they play with the bomb now. Carrier will be Royalty. Again, luckily on the other side, Spark still has yet to find a kill. If Mohawk is spotted, which I don't think he was, well, certainly he is now as shots fly out. And DiamondCon has to play his life around the bus. He's going to back up the driveway.
Getting punished here for this slow push by Team Canada as the bomb hasn't even made its way out of spawn yet as all of no one shoots back, push up to mid-map and kind of create this line of defense that Team Canada just cannot slip by. Number 3, Prolute's going to probably catch a little bit of information on Dav Patty here as the bomb rotates towards the B site and he's the only one on pool steps. He should at least catch one here and unfortunately Dav Patty is there to take him down. That's 2 with Royalty and now finally Team Canada are trying to show some life.
How do you play this? One moving out of the kitchen window. Who is that? It's Spart. Did Spart catch him in time? I don't believe he did. I think they were trying to orchestrate a pinch in water steps, but there was too much pressure. So now you try to bunch up and play numbers. 3v2. This is winnable for no one shoots back, but the positioning will be better for Team Canada. This retake's going to be so hard. Surely you see him at the bottom. You do. 2v2. 27 seconds to go. DiamondCon on the outskirts. Working on pool side. One wrapping underneath. It's Exotic. And if you get one good peek here, I mean, you get both players. But they surely have no idea where Team Canada is. They will in a moment. Here comes Diamondcon around the corner. Spark gets him. Diamondcon gets it right back, though. The trade is there. Just play time. This is going to be the round win for Team Canada. Surely it will be. He won't hop on bomb. Well done after the plant.
He does get the kill, though. Team Canada finally get on the board, though. Just so you said, 3-0 is apparently a little bit of a curse as they find their way back in. But still a lot more to be done if Team Canada wants to take back this S&D's momentum.
I believe Mohawk has 5 kills in a row, so within a kill and an assist, he's going to have streaks. And that's what you're playing for now. You lose the round, yeah, but Mohawk stays alive. That is the best possible silver lining right now, if your no one shoots back. Great post-plant positioning there again. Exotic and Diamondcon playing it to perfection. Yep, 9-1. Mohawk, 5 in a row. He's getting close to streaks.
Bomb heading towards the A site. All of no one shoots back is actually going there. They're only going to be met by Exotic and Diamondcon, which has been Mohawk that's kind of been getting all this first blood, so maybe we'll see a little bit different around here as no one shoots back. Need to get onto that A site and plant quickly while Team Canada rotates. They are all bunched up in spawn right now. A couple of tags, but Exotic makes it out alive. Looks like they're looking to just completely flood through spawn here, and we're going to see a very scrappy fight here in the back of spawn for Team Canada.
We saw this in round 1 again, and walking away, no one shoots back off the back of what Prolute was able to find. Took the round. Exotic at 1-4. If he takes down Prolute, that's your front blocker for that bomb. And Prolute might swing around this corner and cause all kinds of disruption. Spark finds the first. Numbers advantage. Fire finds 2. I mean, it's happening so awkwardly, but regardless, Dav Patty working to the back.
Dav Patty, he was in an optimal position in mid there to just wrap around and shoot them in the back as they were all pushed up on the A side, but they just played it so slow. Team Canada are playing so hesitant in this S&D, like they're scared to make a commitment and a decision, and they're just being punished for it here. The Team Fire get a free 2-piece, and he's probably going to find a third here before they get shut down. They need a pace change here. They need to start playing more aggressive, or else no one shoots back. They're just going to keep punishing them for it.
And those elbows were so good from Fire, and the slide out just secures the kill. 4-1. Great bounce back round from no one shoots back. You know, you go up 3-0, you give away a round, and then it gets in a situation of, oh god, you know, do we start losing? Kind of easy wins here. 9-1 still for Mohawk. I swear he was working on streaks at some point, but Exotic at 2-5. Overhead view, thank you, observing team. 3-1 split with bomb moving its way to B. And on an island, you got Exotic. If he finds first blood, this opens up the round. And look, he spots everyone.
Exotic there, he was hoping to try and pull some of no one shoots back onto the A site by kind of faking that they're making that switch. I understand the scrap didn't end up going in his favor as he only ended up finding 1, I believe, and now Diamondcon takes 2. Prolute's now left in a 1v1 for the Dav Patty. Not the situation he should have been in, but he clutches it up regardless. Whew, that was scary for just a moment there. Diamondcon did not have found that 2-piece as everything was in no shoots back favor. We're going to watch it go down one more time. As one gets shut down, Diamondcon finds 2. And Prolute ends up getting the 1v2 against Dav Patty. But Exotic,
picks up the Krieg and just melts him.
Oh yeah, the Krieg is just absolutely gross. And Exotic went towards that A site to just maybe get a couple of shots in the back if no one shoots back, you know, just get some information, maybe pull a couple players to rotate to that side, but it just did not work in their favor. He ended up getting shut down. Pull step scraps go back and forth, and now no one shoots back is up 5-1 in the search and destroy, looking to close out to get up in the series 2-0.
Loose speed for Prolute, but nades fly out right through pillars. I mean, Exotic is so weak, but everyone else is in courtyard. Exotic has to be careful. He could have been dropped early. That's first blood if anything else comes over for damage. Bomb will start to move up, and Mohawk with a massive win to open up the round. Exotic throwing a couple shots out. The wrap from Diamondcon pinches him into the site, and Diamondcon might find 2. No, Spark again. Trades back and forth. 2v1. Dav Patty working through the back.
Solid to Dav. He has to get the 1v2 here to keep him alive in this series. At least in this map, he finds 1, but he is very weak. Prolute is on the hunt, and he's able to get the 1 shot. That reaction time was just disgusting. No one shoots back is now up 2-0 in the series. 6-1 S&D, Sean. This is completely, I am turned on my head currently. I see the roster with Diamondcon and Dav Patty, and I just expect them to just smack around an S&D, but no one shoots back. Clearly, just proved any prediction I have out the window.
You know, what's really surprising, I think, the most is obviously S&Ds kind of have a story in which they play themselves out, and you can tell the story over the multiple rounds. It didn't really feel like there was much to talk about in that game. It just felt like one round at a time, and inevitably, no one shoots back would find a way to win. 6-1, one of the quicker S&Ds had all of Stage 5, and it was very, very clinical. I mean, there were not many instances where Team Canada had the advantage in first bloods and opening picks. Right here, the only round that went their way, which was DiamondCon clutching basically a 1v3 as Exotic went down under Mansion, under Bedroom. But everything else, I mean, it was pretty clinical. No one shoots back, wasted no time, no expense. They handled their business. They got bombed down in favorable spots. They got opening picks. They kind of turtled the defense of Team Canada into precarious situations where they had to outgun their way through the problem, and they just couldn't. No one shoots back. We're handling the S&D with poise, and that was just a quick S&D. I mean, we didn't get much time to kind of really talk about it and dive deep into it or build the story there. It was just one round after another. No one shoots back, handling their business. Now we go to Control. Game 3 coming up shortly, which will be, I believe, Garrison, if I remember correctly. I do, thank you. Garrison will be Game 3, followed by Raid Hardpoint if necessary. Allie, do you think we're in that same territory again of a 3-0 tonight?
I'm shocked right now. I'm gonna go with yes, just because of what No One Shoots Back has been doing. I mean, like I said, I was favoring Team Canada going into this, but No One Shoots Back clearly just turned me on my head. And if you're Team Canada right now, after that 2-0 in a series that, you know, maybe on paper you would have been expected to win, you are down horrendously right now going into this Garrison, having already lost the Hardpoint earlier in the series. You now lose the S&D 6-1. Going into this Control, I mean, you have to shut down the likes of Mo. But that's not even where you can stop, because even if you shut down Mo, you're looking at the duo of Prolute and Spart just running at you and having fire right behind them. I mean, they have named themselves to be much scarier of a roster than I expected.
Yeah, I've got the pleasure of being able to watch them during the New York Subliners Power Players Cup earlier this week, and just kind of watching this core 3 of Mohawk, Spart, and Prolute. They had Johnny Tsunami in place of Fire, but watching what they were doing in like S&D and Hardpoints, it was clinical. They played standoff S&D. They won 6-0, if I remember correctly. They were using streaks in the middle of the map, just standing there because they were so confident. It was terrifying how good they were, and they were very, very clinical, moving in and out of gunfights with precision. Now we go to a Garrison Control where we know your ARs are having a field day. The subs job is that much easier. No one shoots back. One map away from taking this one to 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, they have to do it here in the Control, and they have to do it fast. You do not want to give No One Shoots Back the momentum, as Prolute is already 2-0 and Mo is 1-0 across the board. Picks are already going on both sides as well. Not even that Mo needs any help on the A side, as he was a one-man army. Luckily for Team Canada, he does get stuck with that nade and get shut down, but his teammates are very close and pushing through green side. Sparty looking to maybe get another 3-piece, as we've seen him do in this same position before. It gets absolutely beamed out of bricks already. This is not looking like a good start for Team Canada.
We've had so many discussions about the best sub players in North America. I think we need to start talking about Prolute. Not that we weren't before, but when we start adding people under Clayster's tweets now, can we start putting Prolute in that conversation? Because he's 4-0 on a 4 spree. The dude has been lights out all series, and Fire is just baiting his life as they get more progress on to B. The last couple of ticks will be good enough. They'll put another minute on the clock as Royalty works his way through the top catwalk. Quickly shut down. Spart with a nade, Mohawk with 1, Spart with the 2nd, and even though Prolute falls, doesn't really matter. Well, it kind of does, because Dev Patty comes in with 2 and shuts everything down. Okay, so B will be pushed back just a little, but it even seems like this opening break, nothing is going right for Team Canada. No one shoots back up with a multitude of lives they can give away.
I mean, A already has 2 picks. B is looking to get shut out on its 3rd. 20 lives in favor of No One Shoots Back. 12 on the side of Team Canada. What do you even say at this point, other than No One Shoots Back is making this look absolutely easy in this Control? He is not invested. Daft Patty is trying to have something to do about it. He is 7-4, whereas his teammates Exotic 1-6, DiamondCon 2-5, and Royalty 3-4. There is only so much one player can do. 1 tick is all that they need on the A site. 1 minute and 40 on the clock.
With as much as what Dav Patty's doing with the AR in the back, Prolude's doing even more. That's 3 in a row, and it just takes lives off the board. 15v8, make it 14. Royalty going hero mode inside the point. Can they continue to contest? Fire swings his way around and finds a nice up A to be able to shut down Royalty. Fire again alive, dipping and diving out of gunfire, but no worries. Here come the reinforcements. Mohawk on the top of your screen, more importantly in your POV. He's in top green. If he finds anything, it's danger, but working through the back is Prolude. They're waiting on him, and he's staying alive to make sure everyone else can spawn up, get into position to push, and close out this first round.
I'd say they have to know somebody's behind them, and as Royalty turns to try and find him, Prolude gets the easy kill, and he can now make his way into bricks as his teammates are starting to push in with him as well. This should be all she wrote. One player left, that's going to be DiamondCon. He has to fend off all 4 players, no one shoots back. He's unable to even find one, and that should be all she wrote. Now, not only up 2-0 in the series, no one shoots back is now also up 1-0 in the control. Not only that, they took an offensive round, which should be the hardest to get, especially on the Garrison.
Prolude waited for his life. He took his time, got everyone up on the other side, and then they push as a team. He stays alive, makes it look clinical. Everybody else feeding off that energy, and Dav Patty had a massive 2-piece in lights to be able to shut down the progress on that B tick. But it's all for none at that point when Prolude's 11-3. Like, he's leading the lobby in kills. He's on a 3 spree, 7 for the objective. He's coming up big with 2 pieces and 3 pieces at times when you need to clear off the point. And when progress and getting extra ticks is the most important thing, because overtimes rely on that. Prolude is answering the call. A couple of shots will ring out from Dav Patty, and opening first blood will be there from Team Canada. Position here as well for them. But quickly, as soon as he gets up there, I mean, no one shoots back or shooting right back and saying, don't you dare sit up there. We're going to put some pressure on you as you try to get a spot for a power position.
2 players finally get onto the B site, but quickly are tapped off for just a moment as your kill team starts to light up. Wait, Prolude has no business winning that gunfight against Royalty. He gets shut down, and now no tick progression is going on the B side, as that should be decapped here soon, and 50 seconds are on the clock. Team Canada were in a prime position to at least get a tick or 2 through, but they hesitated in mid and only sent 2 players to the side of B, who quickly got shut down, and no one shoots back, are quickly punishing them for it.
I know Built by Gamers statistically are the most consistent team in North America, and they should be some of the favorites to win this season, but if Prolude continues to be shooting like this and everyone else steps up to their game plan, no one shoots back. Need to have that same conversation. They are playing unreal right now, but Team Canada will finally get that first tick onto B, so progress is working. Mohawk turns and burns on DiamondCon. Those are disgusting shots. With 28 seconds to go, all you need is really 1 contest and 1 team wipe, and this round's done. But how do you play it now? Mohawk on the floor, going to fly back on in with the Diamati in hand, still trying to find DiamondCon in the back. Here comes the challenge, here comes the beams, and there it all is. That's 3 dead. That's a full team wipe. 22 seconds to go. You know where they're spawning. This is an unreal performance in round 2.
I mean, there's nothing they can do. They're stuck in spawn now. They're down 2-0 in the series, and they can't even find footing going into this control. 7 seconds on the clock. Closest person is going to be Royalty. Might be able to touch it for just a moment as he's running towards the A site, and he manages to get on top of it. I love this play. Royalty sprints across, puts on his shoes and running shoes, and sprints to get to green side to stop it at 1.6 seconds. He finds the kill on Prolude, and he gets the double kill on his Sparty. He is keeping his team alive right now. What an incredible play out of him to split off from Exotic, who he left at the B site, and now getting a tick onto A, but his teammates have to make it out of this spawn trap if they want to stay alive, as there's only so much he can do as he finds 2. If he finds the kills on the Sparty, that's all she wrote. His teammates get onto the B site. That should be a cap. We could see a time reset here as Team Canada now have full control of the B site.
Well, they will, but don't worry. It's 12v3. You only got 3 lives left. Make it 2. Make it 1. At some point, this one's going to be done. It was a heroic play from Exotic, and it was really just about rush. Like, who's going to get there first? Will Prolude get there before the rest of his team does? It doesn't really matter in the end. Team kills regardless. 9 versus 1. Royalty. This would be a heroic round. 1 for the absolute legend books. I don't know if that's the way people say things. Whatever.
Legend books?
8v1. Legend books. Whatever. My brain's broken. 17-11. 3 spree for him. 30 seconds to go.
I'm
Baseman
so
can't
sad.
speak, but this one's pretty much done.
The play was so 5-head, but the lives just weren't there. Maybe that'll be a momentum switch, but a reverse sweep in control and a reverse sweep in the series is a lot of work to do if you're Team Canada. Royalty might get sniffed out here. All the players of No One Shoots Back are on the hunt. They finally find him and shut him down before the clock runs out. No One Shoots Back is now up 2-0, not only in the series, but 2-0 in the control as well.
I mean, what do you do in situations like this where no matter where you look, you're losing gunfights to Mohawk? You got fire in your face constantly. You got Prolud who's turning on people who have an angle in lights that just shouldn't be readable. Mohawk with no health is still beaming kids in spawn. Up 2-0. No One Shoots Back, feeling like inevitability here. 20-9. Prolud is having the best control I've seen him have maybe all season. Diamondcon at 5-17 is triple negative. That's not to harp. That's, look, we're just pointing out stats here. Like, this is kind of how it's been. No One Shoots Back. We're clinical in that S&D. The game 1 Hardpoint is the closest map we've had all series. They are 1 round away from just clean sweeping Team Canada off the map.
Doesn't mean they can get comfortable here as your kill feed's starting to light up a little red, a little bit of beam of hope for the side of Team Canada as Prolud needs to shut that down until he gets control of green side and maybe making his way towards A. Never mind. No One Shoots Back answers with 4 of their own. Now life count 27-26 is still close, but the cap is already starting to happen over on the side of B. It looks like Team Canada have already completely chalked the B site as they are stacking on A, and even at that point are getting shut down by the likes of No One Shoots Back.
Exotic's going hunting for Prolud, but don't worry, Prolud just bamboozles them and circles around, gets control of top green again. Power position here for No One Shoots Back. They're working on B. They get split reinforcements, and now you just wait for spawn to help out. Fire has been uncontested in lights, throws out an A just for good measure. We'll tag something, but there's really no need to challenge this. Here comes Exotic, though, and he will win the big gunfight. So that shuts down the progress on B halfway through the 3rd tick, and it'll slowly fall. A couple of numbers there for No One Shoots Back. The floor has been basically chaos in all parts. And right now, a good defensive hold from Team Canada when they needed it most.
It looked a little scary as they had given up completely on the B side, but Exotic in with a huge 1v1 to kind of shut that down. And now Team Canada can kind of push up and maybe create a spawn trap of their own to put some life back into the series again. It would be insanity should they get this reverse sweep in control and then maybe work for it in the series, but that's a long ways down the road. They still have 20 seconds on the clock and 2 more rounds to go should they take this one. B site does have 2 takes, but nobody from No One Shoots Back is close enough to touch it just yet. Maybe Prolud if he gets a couple kills here, but he is by himself against 3 red arrows on the map. So this should be a round going in favor of Team Canada.
Team Canada finally getting some map pressure back and staying across that 50-yard line, putting the pressure on those back spawns. I love the call, and I love the execution even more. Team Canada finally gets something on the board, a huge round to keep them alive in this series. And that 50-yard line that had been crossed 100 times by No One Shoots Back finally gets a little taste of Canada. And it seemed like things were clicking on the floor. They're buying time for their teammates to come help with team shots. The trades are there. The teamwork is there. The comms are there. They finally have something to show for all that hard work.
Something to show for sure, but again, they still have 2 more rounds just to stay alive in the series alone. It is completely possible, as you know, challengers in the Call of Duty scene have to go through stuff like this all the time and make long runs in series. So although possible, No One Shoots Back definitely need to stop it here. They don't want to get put in any dangerous situations already. Kill feed lighting up red. Team Canada looking to push off the momentum of that 1 round. No One Shoots Back cannot be getting comfortable here because that is the most dangerous things you can do against some of the top NA challenger teams.
They want to go fast, and I don't blame him. 25-16 for Royalty. I mean, he has been explosive in these past 2 rounds. Already off to a hot start. Prolud going to spawn all the way back in the tank, pushing up lights. Royalty might beat him, but there's the stick, and that is huge. Royalty was on a bit of a spree, but he was also just feeling it, and you can tell he wanted to take those challenges where he found them. Now he has to come off respawn, and no progress more will be made on B. They can start decapping that a little, as Exotic is going to work in the bottom of lights. Prolud right in front. And that is a huge kill in lights to shut down the momentum. But Team Canada still have lives, 25-24. Mohawk able to take down 1 before he falls. Instances like this where Team Canada need to step up to the next gear and do what they did in that last round.
That peak timing was just so genuinely unfortunate because that second tick was basically through on the B site and he gets stuck in just the right moment when you shoulder that to kill Prolute and get shut down. That is just such a pace change for the entire round. Now Team Canada are stuck in their spawn once again, 24 seconds on the clock. This should be all she wrote. Prolute's on a 4 streak at 30 and 14. Two players from Team Canada come to challenge him on plat and takes down one. I mean, Team Canada, there's just nothing they can do at this point.
Might be able to get a couple of kills with Exotic working on the floor like this, but Mohawk is still around the spawn, just absolutely bullying Team Canada. Finally, he gets taken down, and Exotic worked his way back to A. Same situation, right? Same corner. He's there again. Do they recognize the play? Exotic gets both kills. That is huge. This is the time. 16 to 14, 5 seconds to go. Exotic with another clutch 1v2. He eventually drops, but it bought enough time for the rest of his teammates to get back to B. Exotic, 18 and 24, but the most clutch performance when they needed it most.
Some of the craziest controls we've seen here in the Challenger scene. I mean, Exotic being able to stay alive and get that huge two-piece to allow his teammates to push up on the B site and get that cap. Now a little bit of a breather for Team Canada as a minute is on the clock. We're looking to make sure to spawn. He does find one, but he has no teammates' help, so unfortunately he does just throw his life away there for a moment. And now Mohawk is punishing him for that as Team Canada only has 8 lives compared to No One Shoots Back's 14. A has no cap whatsoever and happens to be one of the hardest points to capture and control on Garrison.
Mohawk is plus 11. Prolute 32 and 17. Finally, he falls in lights, but you have one real good push for Team Canada, and that's going to be it. Can Prolute withstand the flurry of kills that will be coming his way? They're going to try to wrap through bricks, and Fire has to cut down at least one to make things a little bit more interesting. They're working their way through the back. A delayed push as Boundicon holds his position. A big one by Exotic again, and Daft Patty shuts down Spart. This is the push you need for Team Canada, but Mohawk sniffs it out, and he gets the kill necessary. This is such a huge wrap, and that's gonna do it. No one around to get to A. That will be the game. Everyone knows it. A 3-0 sweep for No One Shoots Back. A massive, massive response in that defensive hold. Man, what a series.
I mean, the only hope that Team Canada had there is if they did a deep wrap. I mean, you have to assume that when the clock's ticking like that, No One Shoots Back knows that you're going to try and cut through bricks there. Know you're going to try and do a split play because obviously funneling through green isn't going to be working out for them. So the fact that they kind of shortcutted it a little bit and ended up getting shot in the back kind of ruined their split push a little bit there.
Fox,
something that stood out to me. You all mentioned so well that Exotic was kind of falling behind there in that control, but had a really explosive moment. And it's moments like those where No One Shoots Back. If you listen to the comms of this team when they're playing, they're still able to keep it together. They're able to talk through the issue when the round ends, work it out, and play well the next one. You know, and that's what's so important, is to not be shaken by that and close it out 3-0.
That was an impressive response. I mean, even in situations where Team Canada were pulling miracles out of nowhere, right? Exotic able to sneak away to A, find 2 kills in that corner, and all of a sudden they get a minute on the clock. It was unreal. It was an unreal performance from No One Shoots Back. Here's a look at the series layout for everyone. As No One Shoots Back took the opening Hardpoint, took the S&D 6-1 very quickly, and a much closer control than what the score shows, but nonetheless, a win is a win. 3-1. They take the series 3-0. And, you know, this is a roster we need to start paying more attention to. This is a roster that should start sparking everyone's ears up a little bit more, because Mohawk, Spart, Prolute, and Fire, specifically Prolute and Mohawk, what they're doing on the map is downright filthy. Like, they are taking over games at will. And Fire, who's fit in so nicely in this team in place of Draza. Spart, don't have to say enough about him. He's an absolute demon. This team is very capable of taking on anyone in North America. And if their S&D is as clinical as it is tonight, all the way up throughout the rest of the season, Fox, I mean, do you think anyone can be able to compete with this team in S&D?
Real threatening team in Search and Destroy. I gotta say right now, the first impression of No One Shoots Back is a good one. You mentioned really all the players stand out in their own way, and if you listen to the way that they talk to each other, you see why they're able to bring so much success to each individual player on the roster. The communication is great, it's clean, and they're working together.
This has been an unreal performance tonight. 3-0, your final score. Once again, no One Shoots Back taking it over Team Canada, but for Team Canada, you know, it was a 3-0, but it was other than the S&D, it was a close 2 games, right? The control swung back, and imagine if there was more production from those front slayers of Exotic, was able to pull off those miracle plays, but you didn't have to rely solely on that. In the hard point moments where they needed to hold on to the hills a little bit longer, but just were unable to. Team Canada, still a very strong roster, but in this matchup, no one shoots back, gets a bit revenged like they had in the open tournament, where Team Canada were able to take that. No revenge, gets the sweep here. Now we get in a situation where, again, the standings shift in North America, and things will continue to kind of sift her out. But Allie, I just want to get kind of your overall impressions, because we talk about consistency in North America kind of being a rare thing with the amount of roster changes, and BBG stands above a lot. But this team right here, no one shoots back. I mean, they just look clinical. Do you think that they're going to be a team we're talking about in a couple of weeks' time, when come playoffs, we're going to be looking at which teams can make long runs?
I'm going to definitely play a little bit of devil's advocate here, as we talk about, they looked, 3-0, that's just gross. The S&D, disgusting across the board, but going into today, they were 0-2. They had no wins under their belt just yet. I am assuming that they took the S&Ds in the matches that they did play because of their map counts, but they went in today 0-2, so that worries me a little bit, because either yesterday was a little bit of an off day for them, they really came out swinging today and fixing the holes that maybe they would have recognized earlier in the day, or that means they could be a very inconsistent team, and that's a little worrying for a roster like this after having such a dominant showing, because they consistently play like that and consistently put up the numbers that we just watched them put up in this series. I could easily see them taking on the top two NA teams 100%. But just having played that advocate here, just because the statistics aren't completely there for them just yet, it's definitely a little worrying. But I do have a lot higher hopes than I for them than I did going into this.
Well, before we get into our final matchup tonight, which will be UYU versus Built by Gamers, we have to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're actually going to hop in to the end of Trash Bros versus BBG. You don't want to miss it. North American Call of Duty continues after this break. Welcome back to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series here on the mainstream. Up first, we got Trash Bros versus Built by Gamers, and I was told that Trash Bros reverse swept their way through the control to take a 2-1 series lead. Apparently, Built by Gamers had streaks, and they blew it. So now we go to a Moscow Hardpoint to watch the end of this one, because after this series, we have UYU versus BBG. So BBG has to get through this, and then they have to go play their reward is they have to go play UYU. But why don't we just get right into the action? Let's not waste any time. I want to see what Trash Bros have, because again, this is a team that won the Season 4 Grand Finals in North America, and they have yet to win a series here tonight. I didn't think I'd be saying that. They're currently 8th in North America standings, and that is just a situation that no one expected. But Built by Gamers, one of the more consistent teams, Allie. I'm expecting competent Hardpoint out of them.
Competent, I hope so, but if Yuli starts going on a roll, I'm expecting a little bit of a Yuli versus Pentagram when we're going into this hard point. I expect those two to have to try and match each other, and already off the bat, Trash Bros in control of P1. Not only that, they're also in control of P2 spawns, so your kill feed's going to light up green as well. Across the board, Halogen, Troid, and Mock are all sitting at 2 kills already across the board. Built by Gamers, a little bit of a slow start out of Pentagram and Panders. They are still trying to fight their way through P1 with 15 seconds left on the hill.
Jin Troy said, absolutely no worries, brothers. I want to rotate early and make sure we get spawns for new. And you're already thinking about that rotation. Jin Troy has a big gunfight, but Pander just comes up big with the AR in hand. And there is the break that Built by Gamers were looking for. Kismet was out on the hunt, and Pentagram was trying to help, but Pander gets the job done. 4 and 3 for Kismet. Pentagram, the first one inside the new hill. Mock gets him at range, and Kismet working his way up mid-street, trying to cut down anyone rotating late. Gets a couple of stragglers, but Mock will shut him down on the response. Tie game, game lead. Built by Gamers right back in it.
Huge kill by Pander because he didn't know the Trash Bros were already starting to spawn out, so for them to get those 2 off rotations, they easily secured spawns for Built by Gamers, who are now getting time off the hill, but Trash Bros looking to answer very quickly as they flood in through mid 30 seconds left on the hill, and Trash Bros have forced their way onto the hill. Possibly seeing another lead change here as Yuli is left on his own to deal with the cavalry of Built by Gamers, who are fighting for 20 seconds, mind you, on this point. Thankfully, they are able to, because number 6 and 8, that's going to be Kismet and Godorex, are already fully rotated to the deep back of New. So thankfully, they will not lose spawns there. But Jintroid has slipped behind enemy lines. Kismet does have wind of this, though, and shuts that down fairly quickly.
Nice little recap of the series here for you folks. It's a 2-1 series lead currently for Trash Bros. This is how it started. Checkmate Hardpoint, 250 to 98. Trash Bros take it. They 100-point club Built by Gamers, and then a round 11 win by BBG to take the S&D. But going into the control, Built by Gamers was up 2-0. Trash Bros said, no worries, we're going to win it 3-2, and we're going to make you waste streaks. Now we come into Moscow Hardpoint in a situation where Built by Gamers have to absolutely win this because they're in 5th place currently. If they lose this to the number 8 seed in North America, they're going to drop even further, and that just means that Trash Bros have all the momentum going throughout the rest of the weeks. Built by Gamers have to work from the back foot, and there is so much to be desired. Let's get back into the action. 65 points in counting, and it's been all of Trash Bros on this P3 hill, but so far, Ulysses working in the bottom of the bank. A couple of responses from Built by Gamers even things out of the decent trade, but with 10 seconds to go, all we really need to do is continue on and make sure that Built by Gamers get the rotation, they get the time, they get the spawns, and so far, it looks like they have.
A lot of time going to the side of Trash Bros. That is the break that they needed, but they need to start working on getting early rotation because they have yet to do that. And Built by Gamers have been flipping the lead every single time by getting those early couple of points. Trash Bros have done a great job consistently breaking into the point early, but should they start getting those rotations, we could see a bigger lead coming out of them. Mock is 11 and 3. Interesting stat line to talk about already, as he is not on a streak currently, but maybe working towards streaks later on. Built by Gamers, though, Kismet as the counterpart is 12 and 9, just trying to hold on to this final hill, going into this next rotation. 20 seconds left on this old number 3. Jintroid is closest to New, but he's committing to this old time, although he could have gotten to that P1 very early, so little slip up there as Kismet now is going to be the first one to touch the hill.
Jintroid was the first one to rotate, but Kismet working his way up top. Estes getting shot from every angle. And Built by Gamers had the early lead and early hold on P5, but they eventually got broken, and well, things didn't look good after that. Now we look at Trash Bros once more with the setup here, and we'll see how things work out. I should say P4, excuse me, is 89 and 97. Built by Gamers will get the first 100-point lead now, or will they? The contest comes in, and there Trash Bros once more have no control, but Kismet on the outside is able to deal some damage. Now working his way inside for anyone to contest, but Godorex cleans up too. Hill is completely built by gamers. They are setting up shop, and they're looking good for P2 going forward.
Looking good for P1 and P2. 30 seconds left on P1, and all of that is getting soaked up by Built by Gamers. And again, that was a huge two-piece of God Rex to help watch over his teammates in Hill and get this last final of scrap time. Yuli was trying to make the rotation onto Street, but Panda shut that down fairly quickly as he pushes up now closer towards mid. He needs to be careful though, because if Yuli pushes through glass and gets a couple of kills, they could flip out spawns here. So hopefully seeing a little bit of backup out of him here soon, as a lot of engagements are starting to go down in mid.
Nice shot from Pentagram, but better ones there from Hollow. Things really slow down, and Panda once more out Main Street, just hitting everything. Such a clutch machine. 2 pieces left and right on a 4 spree. Somewhat in the realm of possibility for Streaks, but 3 will be bunching off spawn and turtling up as they rotate to P2. How do they push through mid? Well, you got to deal with Pentagram currently, and he's still somehow staying alive from Pentagram. That is a ridiculous speed on those knees, and he continues to go on a rampage. Pentagram at 9 and 10. Somehow, someway, he is rolling through this hard point, finding everything. Pentagram is unstoppable, and Built by Gamers have the lead.
And the fact that Pentagram had doubled his kills in that single streak alone, I believe he killed 5 members of Trash Bros, which means he was, 10 and 10, and he has quickly gone up to, he was 5 and 10, and now he's even across the board. 163 lead on Built by Gamers. Trash Bros 1 and 12. They finally have an early rotation, but Built by Gamers are already starting to collapse onto the site. Pander's going to be the first one to try and make his way through the back, as Yuli is answered by 2 members of BBG. Shuts down 1, and the trade doesn't go through in their favor. So time now going in the side of Trash Bros, but Yuli is having a slow start at 8 and 15, as well as Gentroid 8 and 13. So Pentagram has done his job to match that pace, and as well, 14 and 11. Kismet 17 and 11. BBG are starting to roll with this lead.
It doesn't matter if it's Pander, doesn't matter if it's Pentagram. These are 2-piece machines. Pentagram buys his team 40 seconds on P2. And now if you're Trash Bros, you basically have to 4-stack or fight through spawns in the back. And you don't have library control. Well, finally you do. That nade from Hollow will help out. Not a lot on the clip, but don't worry. The spawns are so far out for BBG, they're just going to prioritize P4. But here comes Kismet, always on the flank. Runs right into the sights of Hollow, and trades look good. Trash Bros get so much time on P3, and they are right back in this game. A masterful response in this hard point.
Huge hold for Trash Bros, and that is exactly what they need to put themselves back in the game. And Kismet needs to be careful here, because should his teammates start falling to the members of Trash Bros, they could lose early rotation. But as soon as I say that, your kill feed lights up white once again with Pentagram on a 2 spree, not allowing Trash Bros any step of the way. Now Trash Bros once again late on rotation. They have allowed Built by Gamers the absolute momentum they needed to bring not only 200 points here on this hill, but could set themselves up to take this hard point and push it to a game 5. For members of Trash Bros looking to fall in from Street, but all of Built by Gamers are sit and ready and wait. Nobody has fallen just yet, as time is continued to be soaked up by the side of BBG.
Just when you think you can count them out, they resurge back. Kismet just letting them know with the elbows. Ulysses drops 200 points. They're so close to it. Well, they touch the hill. They have to deal with Mock on that AR, 20 and 13. But at range, the AR battle has been won by Pander, 17 and 15. Mock doing everything he can to keep Trash Bros in this, but the subs just haven't responded. You look at Gentroid, you look at Ulysses. Hollow about 2 kills over even, but everything else has been by the wayside. 2-11 and counting. They can win it on the next hill. We go to P1 on our third set of rotations. Gentroid once more thinking about P2, but Kismet just sniffs him out and snuffs him down. 24 and 15. Kismet's gonna let the rest of his team do the dirty work and secure P2 for a last-ditch effort. If you're Built by Gamers, you win it on P1.
What an absolute silent, slippery slayer that Kismet is. He is 24 and 15, just been behind enemy lines, constantly being a nuisance to the side of Trash Bros. And sure, they might not have this P1 control for now, but Built by Gamers only need about 20 or so seconds to end it. They have spawns for next as well. Pander's shooting them from behind, 20 seconds left. Trash Bros have one good push here, or they can kiss this hard point goodbye and load up into the 5th map.
235, 236. It continues to go up. No one's been there for a contest. The only one inside right now is Gentroid. Double negative lock at 21 and 17. But here comes Pander. Sub in hand. Doesn't work the same as an AR, but no worries. Kismet's been back here for like 45 seconds, just making sure that Built by Gamers don't lose this game. But you also have to worry about the pressure on the front. They bull rush their way through. They put everyone up to the challenge, and all the guns are there. The gunny for Mock will not help out. Right now, Trash Bros work their way inside. It's a 2-man split for Built by Gamers on opposite ends of the hard point. Hardpoint. How do you work on Main Street? You got to get through Hollow. You do it through Pander. Thank God his AR is clicking today. Ulysses inside the hill will get quickly dropped. And now this is the chance to put the game away. Pentagram just on an absolute tear. Only 2 more in the back for Trash Bros, but Godorex on your screen. Tries to throw a nade. Blocked quickly. No utility here. Straight up gunfights wall to wall. And so far, Trash Bros are winning them all.
Built by Gamers are struggling to close out this game here as they just keep getting picked apart, throwing bodies at this hard point. 20 seconds left. Just rotate. Why are all 4 of you still surrounding this old point? You could have just given it up and rotated the first couple of seconds. Now, number 3, Gintroid's going to be the first one in the back. If he wins that gunfight, which he does, he could gain spawns for his teammates going into new, and this could be a much scarier game. Built by Gamers only need 10 seconds. They need to get Gintroid out of the back of the spawn as Panda team is going to finally be able to do it, but that gave time for Mock to push his way in the back. Now both of these players are going to fall, and Trash Bros are going to get the spawns. Built by Gamers, you are choking currently, as a lot of times going to go the way Trash Bros, as all of you get wiped down in middle. Gintroid looking to go on a spree as Hollow is on a 5 streak, 27 and 21. If they get this full time here, this game could go either way, Sean.
This is unbelievable. Built by Gamers, not again. You had the lead in the control, but now you rotated early for P2. You did everything right, but you're just not winning the gunfights. Finally, they get inside, and now you need to contest for Trash Bros. Huge gunfight by Gintroid. Gintroid almost goes big, but Pander's inside. 6 seconds needed. You got to contest from the front. It's Ulysses. Ulysses with a challenge. Ulysses with the win. Did he do enough? Kismet in the back at Library. He's able to find 1, but numbers are there for Trash Bros. Kismet, the last alive, the last hope for BBG. Is anyone inside? You got 6 seconds. You got to rotate. Who's at Main Street? Don't worry. Pentagram is there. A 1v1 gunfight against Mock. It comes down to this, and Mock sees him, but no, Pentagram wins it regardless. 248. They're going to win it on this hill. Oh, Pentagram, you big man. He got it done. We're going to a game 5.
Pentagram saved the game there, 100%. Mock had a sliver of a chance as Mock just stays in that contesting position and doesn't move behind Troll and tries to play his life and wait for his teammate. That might have been a different story, but Pentagram was able to shut him down very quickly and save the game for Built by Gamers. But regardless, they shouldn't have been in that position.
I'm not okay. I'm absolutely not okay. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I don't like how that happened. I'm not okay. That performance is unreal. Pentagram, brother, talk to me. Let's have a sit-down meeting. Let's grab some coffee. What the hell was that? Where did that come from? Have you been keeping that from us this entire time? I know you're an unbelievably talented Call of Duty player. Where did that come from? That is unreal. Trash Bros had the resolve of the world on their shoulders trying to bring this game back. Kismet makes one big play, one big 1v1. Pentagram comes off spawn and just lays down Main Street, and Gintroid saw him. Gintroid was on the bus. It literally halo jumped into his death. Like, this play from Pentagram is absolutely disgusting. Like, if ESPN existed for Call of Duty, this would be top 5 plays and #1 for 10 years running. This is unreal. The performance Pentagram put on is the only reason why Built by Gamers are going to a game 5. I'm just mind blown at what we've seen.
I completely agree. If I'm Pentagram, I'd only be angry right now because of the amount of work he had to do to make sure not only that they stayed in the game, but that they won the game because of the comeback coming in from Trash Bros. And Built by Gamers is one of those teams where, when one player starts going off, usually, that trickles down to the rest of them. The rest of them start picking it up and start having pieces of their own. But in the end, they're Built by Gamers just were struggling to close it out. And Trash Bros is not a team you can allow any inch of a step into, because that's exactly what they did. They started punishing them for it and made it much scarier than it ever on any planet should have had to been.
As my dear friend Nameless would say, I'm absolutely mind blown. I'm truly mind blown, man. I don't know. Oh, I just felt my spine dislodge. I don't know how we got here. I don't know what the hell happened, but Built by Gamers, like you said, Ali, very clearly, they almost choked that hard point. And would it not be for Pentagram, who is currently the MVP right now, they lose this series and they choke it away, and Trash Bros get their first series win. We're going to an S&D where Built by Gamers won it in game 2 in round 11. I'm just completely lost for words, and this has been one of the most fun I've had jumping into a series. Here's a layout. Again, shout out production for being able to get us all these answers. Trash Bros won it 250 to 98. Game 1 was 100 Point Club. Built by Gamers take it round 11 raid. and then a reverse sweep and a choke by Built by Gamers as Trash Bros go up 2-1 in the series. That last hard point speaks for itself. Now we go to Miami. Allie, who you taking? That's the question.
At this point, it's not even who I'm taking, it's win conditions, because you want to say Built by Gamers off the momentum that Pentagram just created for them, but because of how that hard point just played out, I am very, very hesitant to do so. I mean, I want to touch on the fact that Kismet as well, like, I say it perfectly, as he is a silent slayer. He is constantly just doing he's getting important kills on the maps, and not only that, his numbers show it, but they aren't any flashy plays. It's not ones that you typically would notice, but he's always in the back doing something. He's getting spawns, he's getting the rotational kills.
Yeah.
So I feel like he definitely had a part as well to kind of boost him out.
Absolutely.
That Pentagram was able to do. But talking outside of Trash Bros, the fact that Yuli, I'm pretty sure, was double negative, and he's like their huge slayer, and they almost brought that back there, being down almost at a 100-point deficit, that should never happen. So now heading into the search and destroy, if Yuli just, was having a bad game, if Ulysses was just having an off hard point, and they go into this S&D full swinging on everything, that is very scary to think about for Built by Gamers, because of the amount of work they had to put in, not only to stay in that hard point, but to close it out.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I'm sorry, I'm still just working through what absolutely happened on our faces. Listen, Kismet was huge. He rotated so early, Ali, and there were moments where it's like he's securing the game. He's locking down the end of the discussion. There is no chance they're going to lose this. And then when they didn't have P2 and they lost every gunfight, and then they lost every gunfight on P3, I'm thinking, oh my god, this is unreal. But he opened up the door for Pentagram to do what he did. And so even though Kismet failed in his attempt to make sure that he stayed alive and got his players in a position to win the gunfights, he succeeded in putting Pentagram in the best position to win. So Kismet, again, is kind of the unsung hero of this roster. The things that he does on his routes are unreal. But Pentagram stepped up. He did what he had to do, which was godlike. Now we go to an S&D, and I don't know what's going to happen in Miami. We've seen a Miami already once today. Look, your ARs are going to have a field day. So if Pander is continuing to shoot that straight at range, I mean, Pander was lights out in that hard point. We just didn't focus on him much because of what Pentagram was doing, and then eventually what the entire Trash Bros roster was doing, which was winning every single gunfight on P2, P3, and P4. If Pander is shooting like that on Miami, like, this is going to be a very, very interesting Miami S&D, because this favors your ARs. This map favors your ARs. So I have a feeling that the BBG are going to ride that momentum from the hard point, and they're going to come out and handle business here.
I believe if BBG, as long as their mental is still in place after that almost comeback in hardpoint, I think I'm leaning a little bit towards them. But again, the roster of Trash Bros, I mean, this also is screaming S&D to me. So really, it could go either way depending on some of these opening gunfights. As we hop right into it, Built by Gamers are going to be on the attack as they quickly make their way towards the B site in top piano. Oh my god.
First nade out from GodRx, second kill from Pentagram. Things looking good early for BBG. But Hollow could play spoiler through the back. If his trigger discipline is there, oh my word. Pentagram will shut him down. Never mind. 4v1. This is the round for Built by Gamers.
I thought Hollow actually took out somebody, and I was like, oh, his trigger finger isn't there. But it really wasn't, as he didn't shut down anyone, even though being in a prime position to do so. So, bomb down, Mock. There's only so much you can do in this situation. There's 4 BBG players just waiting for you to show your head somewhere. And that's all she wrote. Built by Gamers going up 1-0 in the search and destroy in a very convincing fashion, to say the least.
His discipline was too good. He never fired a single bullet. Got taken out. And that turn from Pentagram is just, it's unreal. So in that kill cam, I wonder then, did Hollow, instead of just going up the steps, did he try to wrap around Piano? Oh, no, he just went right up the steps. Okay, there we go, Spaceman. You're caught up now. He got smoked. It's okay. He got hit with an elbow, but a good round for BBG. They get first blood, and within a second, they get the second. So you're playing a 4v2. At that point, the win rate should be like 99.999991%. And now, Built by Gamers move into the second round. Trash Bros on offense. Your bomb carrier will be Ulysses. Looks like A will be the call, but you have one on an island. That is Hollow. If he finds anything in Piano, they might try to wrap it back to B. We'll see how it plays out.
Quite perfectly, a blind counter by BBG, as that's going to be 3 and 4. Godrox and Kismet immediately pushing up Beach as Trash Bros are trying to make the bomb towards their way, but the patience out of Gentroid to just expect the hard push. I feel like that's not something that we have seen a lot of in the challenger scene, is to push up Beach to side, and not only that, for Trash Bros to be ready and waiting for that aggression. So that's first blood on the side of Trash Bros. Yuli is going to have bomb in hand, but of course now BBG knows where the bomb's heavy on its way towards the A site. Just waiting for somebody to give up a little bit of information.
Finds nothing. Jabbawockeez, though, might find a couple. Walk right into my sight. My dear children. Gintroid. Oh, I'm so careful. Head pops up, but that trophy gives away all kinds of positioning, and he just goes for the trophy. He's getting shot in the back. Jabbawockeez still alive somehow. How is this happening? Ulysses just needs a challenge, and he gets it. Jabbawockeez had a couple of free kills on the beachfront, but he doesn't even check. 2 more fall. Pentagram and Panda are combining for 2. 2v2. Bomb down.
Bomb is down, and Panda, I feel like, had the information there. Pentagram, as he saw the bomb site, didn't move towards his direction, so Panda should know. Oh my god! The beams out of Mock. I couldn't even see him. These players see stuff that even we don't see sometimes, and now it's left in Pentagram. No 1v2, 20 seconds left on the bomb. He has to pick out Mock with both. He doesn't get the kill, but he almost turned on Ulysses. Thankfully, they shut him down to what would be a terrifying 1v2 if that worked in his favor, and Trash Bros putting themselves on the board.
You know, in situations like that, you kind of expect Pentagram to be able to pull something off, some kind of magic, but great recognition on the side. It was Ulysses who opened things up. Got bomb down, took down Jabbawockeez, and now we switch sides. Currently up 1-1, tied 1-1. There it is, Spaceman. Who runs bomb now? 3-1 for Pentagram. Kismet still trying to find his first, but on this map, I mean, so often you'll see him just working through the backlines on a long flank, and he takes his time. And when he does and it works, oh, it's deadly how quickly he can disrupt a setup. Jabbawockeez looking for the first peek over to A, but spawn peeks won't be there. Gintroid working very cheeky right up mid-map. Might catch Pentagram. He knows he's around this angle, but he's met by Jabbawockeez and a heady that will never be lost.
It looks like all these first bloods have been over aggressions from either side, who have just kind of solo pushed up a little too far and been caught by their team, but Mock quickly trades that out and takes down Kismet. So now 3v3. Bomb is out in the middle of A site. That's going to be all up to Panda now, as he's going to try and sneak his way up to hopefully grab the site. Pentagram does find one, though, and open up the map a little bit more for his team. Mock and Hollow are spread across very thinly, and Hollow is stuck over at the B site by himself. 2v2, 30 seconds on the clock. Pentagram finds the kill on Hollow, now in a 1v2, but Bomb is still out on the beach at A, so Mock does seem to have the information on that, as he is just waiting for one of them to pass by to pick it up. Very doable for him here, as long as he gets his shots, but Jabbawockeez slips away with his life. We should see Bomb go down for free now onto the A site.
Right play, wrong execution. In a good position, almost cleans up Pentagram, but if Mock had just waited for that bomb to possibly move, maybe he rotates slowly behind and is able to catch one top visitor. It would have to been a 1v1 against Pentagram for this play to even really develop and be possible. But with 30 seconds to go, time is limited and resources are even less. Mock now moving in. Jabbawockeez is going to play as far away from the side as possible with eyes on bomb. Mock should know that someone's up here. Instead of just challenging up the stairs, he keeps it on the ground. Surely he's thinking something I'm not. So he hops up. He hasn't been spotted, or has he? Someone please clean him up. He's all around. Built by Gamers, get it done. I'm surprised Mock didn't just run up the stairs and try to see if anyone was at top visitor, because if he does and gets that kill, maybe you get a cheeky challenge from BBG, and he has positioning. He could have been able to win. He could have won that, honestly.
He could have, I believe he had kind of chalked going for the defuse at that point. I think he just kind of went on the hunt for one of the players, because by the time the clock was down to 13 seconds, it's like, what could he possibly do if he hasn't even found one? So, Built by Gamers now up 2-1 in the search and destroy. Pentagram on a 3 spree at 6-1. Kismet yet to find his first kill. Not that he has to, though, as Pentagram is playing enough for 2 players on the side of Trash Bros. So, pretty okay across the board. Hollow and Gintroid a little bit of a slow start, 1 and 3 for them respectively, but again, we're only in our 4th round of S&D. Bomb making its way towards the B site. 2 players in BBG will be here. A couple shots go out, but nobody falls just yet.
And Jabbawockeez is not letting anything get through mid-map without being spotted, but on a slow rotation, it is Hollow, who again could trade one out, but I believe he gets picked as well. Pentagram throwing a couple of shots his way, so Hollow will have to back up. Now Bomb will move over, and Kismet finds Gintroid. Here comes the collapse. If Kismet has free roam and free real estate in top piano, it's going to be so difficult to take him out of position, and this side's completely locked down. Bomb down again. Hollow, good shots, but not good enough. 1 and 3, 4v2. Built by Gamers should be able to secure this round. Never mind, Hollow just rips Jabbawockeez.
rips him, but there's 20 seconds left on the clock, and Bomb is down on the B site, and 3 members of BBG are surrounding it, so they definitely have that information. So a lot of fortunate gunfights need to go in the favor of Trash Bros for this to end up working out, as one does, as Mock finds the kill onto Panda. That's the opening one he needed. Kismet, though, is able to clean him up before he gets bombed. Hollow's going to try and go for the kill because he cannot pick up the plant, and Built by Gamers cleaned him up. 3-1 now. Built by Gamers looking to close out the S&D in Game 5.
That's the danger of Kismet, whether he's top piano or rotating through full steps or at least near it. In the cubby inside garage. He's always somewhere around the site. He's going to be creating problems. Comes in for the cleanup. Janitorial duties are fun. Up 3-1, 2-round advantage for BBG. And these are, again, the dangerous situations, right? You go up 3-0, 3-1. Rounds 4, 5, and 6 are where you put the game away. Can BBG take another one? 6-1 for Pentagram, just having a tremendous second half of this series. But for Trash Bros, Alley, is there one thing sticking out to you? Gentroid's 1-4 is not the problem right now. It just seems like the ARs are not finding those opening first couple of picks that have helped BBG in these rounds.
Unfortunately, it seems Hollow has found the picks, but it hasn't been able to finish his kills as he's put in a lot of damage, but never actually finds that first blood, and that's been a little bit of a downfall for the side of Trash Bros, just not being able to finish those kills out in mid-map. And as we watch Jabbawockeez, who's just been an absolute turret here in mid-map, who has just made it his street, and there's just no crossing without him knowing. Bomb is playing very slow on the beach side. It looks like it's going to go through a rotation now, but 6-5, Mock and Hollow, they're sitting right on top of the A site, just waiting for any sort of information. Looks like a couple shots go out, and first blood does go down on Pander, so Built by Gamers now in a 3v4, 30 seconds on the clock. BBG need to make a concise decision here now if they want to get this bomb down and go up 4-1.
And this is such a strong position for Trash Bros to be in. They have 2 on each side of the site. Both sides of the map completely locked down. Ulysses just working up the steps and has help from Gentroid. This defensive hold is perfection for Trash Bros. Kismet might have to do the unthinkable and pull a miracle out yet again. No time to wrap. Bomb in hand, but that's about it. All 4 up. No one drops. A nice response from Trash Bros as they will take their second round here and 1 away from tying it up.
Huge round for them indeed, because it's much better to go up 3-2 than to be down 4-1. Watch Gentroid get those free kills in mid. Good shots out of him, and throughout this S&D, BBG, when they've played aggressive near the round, always can both their way, but they really slowed it down there, and I feel like that's where Trash Bros started to punish them, because the second you start slowing down on the side of BBG, that's when the pace change happens, and that's when Trash Bros get the opportunity to pull it back in their favor.
1 more round, you tie this up, and this series has gone back and forth. Again, to quickly remind you, a 100-point club in Game 1 on Checkmate. Hardpoint, Trash Bros took it 250-98, and then a round 11 win by BBG on Raid S&D. Trash Bros come back into control down 0-2. They take it 3-2. We go into a Hardpoint on Moscow that is one for the record books, as it was unbelievable, the performance that Pentagram put on to send Built by Gamers to this position. Now we go to a Game 5 where Built by Gamers are sitting 5th in North America currently. Trash Bros yet to win a series after they won the Season 4 championship. It's been a hell of a series with that nade flying out. 1 tag on Gentroid, but still no first blood.
A lot of tacticals out, but no first blood just yet, as Jabbawockeez is now rotating over to help his teammates on the B site, as it is pretty obvious now that the bomb is attempting to go down. Nade does not take out the planter, so it will go down as Gentroid tries to make it out alive. He's getting tagged up by all the members of BBG, but manages to slip away with his life. So Built by Gamers now in a very unfavorable position. Although pushed up on the bomb site, there is still 4 members of Trash Bros they have to worry about. Gunfight's trying to go down. Gentroid just absolutely playing hooky here in the small. He finally gets taken down by Pentagram, but Mock and Yuli clean up the rest of BBG. 17 seconds on the clock. Pentagram trying to pull a wonder one, but Trash Bros now tie it up 3-3.
A flurry of kills onto the bomb, and Yuli again playing through top piano is able to come out for a cheeky peek. Help secure the round. Positioning at water steps, Mock, who was so good in that hard point, just need a little bit more help from everyone else, specifically the subs. He's getting it now. Tied up 3-3, and maybe that sub pressure is what was needed in this Game 5. It was a 3-1 lead for Built by Gamers, 2 in a row for Trash Bros, 3-5 for Gentroid, Yuli at 3-4, same with Hollow and Mock leading the way on 3 spree. But Pentagram can be an absolute menace in the backlines at 8-3. He's having a great game 5. Now, how do they play it? Bomb carriers, Kismet.
Bomb looking to make its way towards B, but very slowly, as they do have to look down Yuli and Jintroid, who are pre-aiming the bomb, but it will get planted. It's seemingly for free. Now 6 and 5 with Trash Bros. Mock and Hollow are completely across the map. They're going to have to make that rotation. So BBG looking to kind of return the favor from the last round in the side of Trash Bros. As they have a large retake to make, although I don't know if I agree with how 3 players of BBG have completely backed up, but there are 2 of them looking at the flank, and nobody's gone top piano, which has allowed Yuli and Jintroid to just kind of push up for free, and suddenly Trash Bros have control of the site. 20 seconds on the clock. BBG in a 3v2 now. Hollow finds one. Yuli gets the trade through now in a 2v1. Hollows is very doable. You are on the site, but you will get met by Kismet behind you, and Built By Gamers end up closing it out, and now going up once again 4-3.
Yeah, these trades around the site after bomb goes down are actually favoring BBG just of how they play it. The subs are roaming, and they're finding nice challenges on the 1v1s, but the ARs have been able to sit in tight corners and watch over the bomb. It looked like a bit disastrous, but BBG, with that post-plant positioning, I'm telling you, there's something special working there. They take advantage of it. They break the equalizer. They get the go-ahead round. Now 2 away from winning this game 5 in, I'm sure, a series that in some parts they'd like to forget, but in some they'd like to remember with how Pentagram's been playing. Opening first blood, almost BBG. Tagged up but backed up. No one will drop. Pentagram going to work over to B.
Pentagram and Piano is probably one of the scariest things Trash Bros are going to think about after this map. And Bomb now trying to make its way towards the B site, but there is just no way in hell, as Pander is just sitting on top of that site waiting for any of them to push on through. A lot of tacticals out, trophies out. No nades will be taking out either side just yet. Godarex still on the A site, though, keeping it locked down, although there are no members of Trash Bros on that side of the map, as all 4 of them are back in spawn still in Piano side, still trying to flood through Garage here to get on this B control. 2 players slide in. Pander finds 1. Pander finds 2. That's the bomb down on site. Mock, you have a lot of work to do if you want to put yourself back into this round. Hollow's getting caught out by Godarex in mid-map. The cleanup should come into favor of BBG in 3v1, 3v9. Built By Gamers now at match point in the series in our game 5.
One more round. It's very clinical now. I mean, they just slide right into his line of sight, and Pander has had the shot discipline all day. He's had the accuracy. That right thumb is doing wonders. Please don't ever quote that. 5-3. One more round. That's all you need. What do Trash Bros have up their sleeve? I'm not trying to rhyme on purpose. I apologize. Minute to go on the clock. Bomb carrier will be Kismet. Trash Bros looking for a 3-1 hit again. The visitor position will be left up to Mock. If he spots anything, it's going to be Kismet with bomb.
I'm hoping for an aggressive push out of BBG, because this is the point where they start to kind of pull themselves back a bit and get a little less confident in closing out the game. Bomb plant looks like it might go for free at A, because Mock has turned his attention completely to the mid site, but he does find Pentagram, and he might find Kismet as well. He doesn't get the kill, but he does now have the information. First blood in favor of Trash Bros. Now a second blood, 2v4. Trash Bros looking to hang on by anything they can at this point. Bomb is now all the way back in spawn. What are you going to do? Godarex and Kismet, they're going to try and rotate it, but 3 members of Trash Bros have completely pushed up to their side.
It's a 4v2. You have to win this, duh. But for morale boost, you have to win this, Trash Bros. Kismet working through the back. They should know if he's still up, he's somewhere behind him. Like, he's got to be somewhere. And surely they start turning around in a couple instances. Jintroid doesn't want to give away position inside. I don't blame him, but Kismet will work his way up to B. There's no one around. The closest member is, I believe, Water Steps. That's Yuli. Godarex comes back. 3v2. Bomb will go down. Yuli should spot him. He will. Kismet escapes. Yuli, you missed all the shots? Your Water Steps. Trash Bros win it. 5-4. I don't know what happened in those last 2 seconds because the POV switched so fast, but okay. Yeah, the shots don't matter. It doesn't matter. They get the round. They just need 2 more.
So Yuli, you missed all the shots, and I'm just sitting here looking at the clock tick down like Bomb has nowhere to go. Although a great showing by Godarex and Panda, they almost possibly did it, but thankfully for Trash Bros, time walk did go out. Pentagram at 9 and 6. I'm always watching the clock. I'm all about the objective play, which isn't what many challenger players are for, as a lot of them are KDAs. Speaking of KDAs, Pentagram 9-6, Godorex 6-5, Kismet 6-3 across the board. All players BBG doing their job. Where Trash Bros, Mock is 8-5 and 4 even for all of the rest of the members. A little bit of a slow for them on the side of Trash Bros, 5-4. Match point once again.
The slowest defense of all time by BBG, and they're not going to move out of these positions unless they're provoked. Well, now you're provoked, and you get smoked. Jintroid gets first blood. 53 seconds to go. Bomb will advance, and it goes quickly. They are pushing this issue. They're going to get it down. Does Pentagram peek? Oh, Pentagram, do it to him. Pentagram, do it to him. Shoots him in the back. Is he escape? He will. Gets caught. 3v2.
Panda is just trying to find something. I'm trying to be quiet with him. Make sure not to make a sound as Trash goes right on the other side of this. They're gonna hear me. They're gonna plant the bomb. Let's see if anybody. Kismet, just peek this corner. Just peek this corner. Just peek this corner before the bomb gets laid. He does it, but the trade goes in the side of Trash Bros 2v1. Bomb still needs to go down though, so Mock has to lay it. If Panda plays this timing perfectly, it could work in his favor. 10 seconds. Bomb's going to go down. If he gets this pick on a Mock, he sees him. He gets the pick. 5 seconds. Bomb does not have time to go down. He just has to play his life. And that is going to be our game 5. BBG take it in 6-4.
Wow. I mean, it was a little anticlimactic at the end, but hey, consistency for BBG. You know, they just do what they got to do. They get it done. That is whole casterism right there. Well done by BBG. They handled their business 6-4. Fox, you were watching on the sidelines, man. Like, it was pretty tense, right? But they went up, what was it, 5-3, and at that point, you're like, okay, BBG have every single tool in the box right now to close out this game. It looked tense in the end, but Kismet, Pander, they do their job, and they handle the chaos well. They get it done game 5. What did you think of the series, man?
They certainly do. They did their job to get it done in Game 5. I think we have to also talk about what Pentagram was able to unleash in this series. We said his name a number of times, and rightfully so. I mean, just go back in the VOD if you're just tuning in and check it out. Pentagram's always going to give you something to be entertained by.
Yeah, it's, both of them, man. 4 by all the above. He is unreal what he did in this series. And honestly, he's the reason they were in that position. He's the single reason why Built by Gamers didn't get like reverse swept and then reverse swept on a hard point. They quite literally were about to choke it, as Ali so eloquently pointed out. And they survived. Pentagram, you have him to thank for that. But Pander's resilience on the AR and Kismet's, unwillingness to sit still in S&D is unreal. Well done by Built by Gamers. They clutch up. They take game 5. Let's take a look at the schedule for tonight because we might have some things that are changing. It was supposed to be UYU versus BBG, and here's the schedule. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a moment. Speak, Spaceman. Mavericks defeated Team War 3-2 in the first match for Europe. Oracles took down a 3-0 sweep of Rejects V2, and then we jump to North America. No One Shoots Back versus Team Canada. No One Shoots Back in a very hot 3-0. We just saw the conclusion of Trash Bros versus Built by Gamers. Built by Gamers win this series 3-2, going all the way to around, I'm not going to do math, you guys saw it. Jabbawockeez versus Team Canada is up next. It was going to be UYU and BBG, but just kind of given how the schedule works, we're going to see an interesting matchup. Jabbawockeez, Team Canada. This one is very, very interesting. That's kind of only words I got for you. We'll let you sit on that and simmer with it. But until we get to that match, we're going to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, the final match of the night for North America. You don't want to miss it. It's day 2 of the Challengers Elite Series. Welcome back. Good evening, everybody, to the final match tonight for North America. We got Jabbawockeez, we got Team Canada. A little bit of a switch up here on the mainstream, but nonetheless, it's going to be great Call of Duty. I'm Spaceman, that is Fox Nally, and this is the final match for North American tonight. We have gone through the gauntlet of the past 2 days, and it has not disappointed. We're almost ready to get into this one, but I want to welcome back my commentators and analysts, as always. Allie Fox, welcome back from the break. Allie, we look at this matchup now. We were going to have UIU BBG, but instead, there's a much more interesting one we want to take our eye on. Team Canada versus Jabbawockeez. Here is the map layout for the series. You know a lot about these players. We know a lot about these players, but Allie, specifically, what map in this pool is standing out to you? Because we know that Jabbawockeez got Fellow, and we know they got Zinx, and we know they got Sib, and we know they got Decimate. What are you looking at?
Already I'm looking at the Garrisons and just imagining Des and Sib to have a bit of a field day. And then, I mean, regardless, I feel like we've seen Garrison and Raid a lot today, just in general. So a lot of these teams, I feel like we're going to have a lot of repetitions on these maps specifically. And specifically in this order, we've seen a lot of Garrison Hardpoint, and we've seen a lot of Garrison Control. And just after seeing what Team Canada did, Dav, Patty, and Royalty were trying to put on a clinic, but it just wasn't enough. And unfortunately, I think Jabbawockeez might punish them for that in the series.
If I remember correctly, this exact map layout, I believe, was the series we had before Trash Bros and BBG. Wasn't this the Team Canada and no one shoots back map layout? If that's the case, that's hilarious. And that tells me that Team Canada probably picked, obviously they picked some of these maps, duh, but what they're picking is what they feel comfortable with, which is mind-blowing, to say the least. So let's get into it. That's just hilarious. I just think that's so cool. But getting into this one, I like what Ali said, Fox. When we talk about Decimate and Sib and what they're able to do, obviously on the map, but on a map like Garrison Hardpoint, I see Raid and I just see Fellow, and I'm like, you guys are like a match made in heaven. Like, they could get married one day. I just think this is going to be a very big series for Jabbawockeez. But for Team Canada, they have to shake off that last loss they had about 30 minutes ago. They got to come in red hot, ready to go. We know that Exotic and DiamondCon and Dap Patty and Royalty again have an absolute masterclass of Call of Duty to be played, but they also have a lot of chemistry with the other people on the other side. But most importantly, the chemistry between talent and observing teams are the most important in the esports world. Waldo and Kyle, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for always giving us the very best Call of Duty to watch, and you always find the best POVs to hop onto. We couldn't do our job if you didn't do yours. You guys are the true MVPs. Fox,
yes,
it's gonna be a fun series.
Yes, and they're giving us a wonderful perspective right now of the Jabbawockeez as they're in the hard point, able to maintain control, looking through the eyes of Fellow, who has yet to fall on this 2 streak that he's obtained for himself just outside of the objective. Followed up with some support here on Zinx. There is someone outdoors that they're going to need to deal with here soon. Royalty ends up catching them and punishing them for the hesitation. Sib with a double kill, though, evening things up before he falls as well. Still, it's going to be Team Canada in control of the hard point at Satellite with a 30-second lead. I think we should talk a little bit about what has brought Team Canada and Jabbawockeez up to this point, right? Just a few days ago, they were fighting for their qualification to play in Stage 5, defeating LAG Academy, defeating Easter to qualify. I mean, these guys made a massive comeback in Game 5 and Challengers Open number 4, and really, it's just been a pleasure to watch all of these players run, and half of them repping Canada, just north of us here. It's really just a stellar team to watch. I'm looking forward to see what they do as they continue and to be strong in this series, in this region, excuse me.
Yeah, and you know, repping Team Canada, I know that's going to make one of our fellow commentators, Visions, very happy, but there have been so many players and teams that have to play through the Elite Series qualifiers to get to this point, and we've seen a couple today, but I want to talk specifically about Sib, because he's had a very interesting year, and last year he was arguably the best player in North American Challengers. You could make a case for the world, but he told me on Twitter last night. I reached out to him. I was like, dude, what were you on today? Because he was flying yesterday. And I was like, if you're playing like this, it's going to be a tough region for people to beat you. He very clearly said he is the best player in North American Challengers. And if he's feeling that way and he's shooting that way, it's going to be an interesting matchup. We have to see if that continues. So far, he's got 2 in the kill feed, 6 and 8 inside the hard point. But Jabbawockeez seems like a kind of a thrown together roster, but they have a lot of chemistry, so it's not super weird. You got Fellow and Decimate, who have many years together. Fellow and Sid, who I know they vouch for one another. And Zinx, who is a bit of a slower AR, but still someone who has picked up the pace quite a bit during the stretch of this Challengers Elite year. And I think he fits in really nicely with this team. Now they just have to work on the comeback.
Right. And talking more about Sib, I mean, this is a guy that's made almost $90,000 playing Call of Duty since November on a bunch of different teams. Of course, for Jabbawockeez, we're seeing more of the guys from the system competing in the tournament tonight, and just look at how much damage they're able to do. Of course, working through the 40-second deficit right now, as hill control is in their favor. Still, several players swarming around green. Team Canada has that part of the map on lock. Before they can get into the objective, they do have to take down that first front line that the Jabbawockeez have set up on the hard point. It looks like they do just that. Staying alive here just around the objective is Sib, who's been able to do so much damage already in this map. And finding a triple kill just moments ago as he stays alive to continue his pressure on lower mid. Exotic waiting patiently for him. He is rewarded and can now move up a bit further to continue to support the objective and catch Zinx off guard. Drop bottom mid to tag up a call out that was clearly coming from communication and from the grenades and such that we saw being tossed out. So just heads up play. Always keep your feet moving. That's the most important key to take away for our submachine gun players on this map.
Quality beam so far from Exotic. He was a bit of a hero in that control just a couple of minutes ago, right? When it was Team Canada playing against no one shooting back. Exotic was finding ways to keep the game interesting, but they just couldn't close the deal. Now they have a decent lead, up by about 80 points, make it 90 as they will cross 130, and we continue to move forward. Jabbawockeez have to find a way to slow down the bleeding. Decimate at 9 and 14, 7 and 13, make it 8 for Zinx. Working through the back, the spawns are there, all liking the kill feed, but Dav Patty responds with one of his own. Here comes Fellow with a challenge. More numbers inside. Jabbawockeez combining for at least one. Sib trying to make it two as he escapes through bricks and gets caught with his back turned, and Fellow's able to kill up a couple. It just seems like no matter what happens, every time Jabbawockeez open up a hard point with a kill or two, there's always someone there from Team Canada to shut things down and restabilize at mid-map.
And we've seen it time and time again on this map. That's why we're seeing Team Canada with nearly an 80-second lead. Jabbawockeez getting another crack at the objective as Siblins gets the first foot set into this hard point. But it's not going to be a very stronghold as we see Team Canada already turning the corner, and Diamond Khan has turned it over to himself. Sib has to get back into the action here shortly. He's trapped on middle map, headshotted as well. Decimate now going in on his lonesome. He's got some help over the shoulder, actually. Fellow there to support with the AR. Double kill. Not too shabby and a big way to defend the hard point here, but he can't do it all alone, and you see why right there. Royalty. Heads up play. Sliding straight into his face. Get up in his grill with the submachine gun and take him down. Bit of Zinx follow up here too. Good AR presence, but the trophy system is going to keep him in a dangerous situation.
Sib leading the lobby at 20-17. Diamond Khan shaky shots, but don't worry, Royalty is there all red in the kill feed for dead. Team Canada once more breaking into the hill late and holding on to every single scrap of time. But Royalty is just playing with his life here. He's just creating distractions, and Jabbawockeez now have to worry about him. He eventually escapes, and a teammate comes in for the cleanup. Dab Patty at top green is in a power position. All floor control is here for Royalty, and for the team in red, it's all for their taking. Diamond Khan locks down everything in lights. I mean, no matter where you look for Jabbawockeez, they're getting smoked, they're getting peeled off the point, they're about to get a 100-point club, they're down by 100 points nonetheless. P2 control has been there for Team Canada, but here comes the break from Zinx. He's able to find one. Can he clean up Dab Patty on the challenge? No. Dab Patty with the buddy shot, just too good.
Diamond Khan, coming from the New York Subliners, and you see his performance standing out in a crowd of Challenger Series competitors. Really just a fierce addition to this Team Canada roster. You're seeing it pay out right now. Nearly a minute of kill time as well. Ooh. Tying up the top of the lobby. Zinx, Sib, finding some crucial kills in the middle of the map. Almost dropping the player on catwalk, but no, Diamond Khan will get the better of him for the 3 streak. 25 and 15. No one surpassing him just yet. Sib is closest to do it. As we're seeing more hill time go to the winning team, Team Canada, approaching that 200-point mark. Very dangerous number here as Jabbawockeez has been getting pummeled for quite a bit of this map.
The sub for Decimate has been quiet. You can feel its presence is sorely missed, but there's time to turn it around. Not much, though. You have to break here. You don't have spawns in the back, but Zinx is shooting like that, and he's taking 2 players down with him. That's 3 dead, though. The response from Team Canada always finds ways to just make things a little bit more hectic, but nonetheless, they hold on to the hill, and they hold on to the time. They can't win it here, folks. So we will be going to rotation, back to B4, down on the ground. It's going to come down to Jabbawockeez on the break. You don't want to give all 22 seconds away, because if you're playing a 1-point game, you have to find a way to get inside and contest. I don't think they're going to do it, Fox. The only person to escape is Sib. He gets gun. No, he wins the gunfight, but don't worry, the trades are there. Royalty with 2. You only need a couple of more seconds putting this game out of reach. Team Canada are just 1 simple hold away from taking map 1.
6 seconds separate Team Canada from closing out this map here. They got the initial time too. Royalty firing like that. He's going to defend the point, but no, Zinx drops down from green. Such a devastating part of the map to drop from, but of course the trades come in because of the Team Canada setup. Diamondcon, of course, everything just playing out the way it was expected to. Davpatty also filing suit. But we see how many people are just coming in to contribute to the flurry of blows being traded on point, and Team Canada comes out on top.
I mean, every single question, query, it was all answered. Every single time. There was always a response from Team Canada, and the slaying was on full force, full display for all 5 minutes of this game. For all 250 points, Team Canada were in control, and the guns were gunning. They were doing their job. The gunnies were here, and they completely locked down mid-map when it came to watching those rotations through the bottom floor. P4 was the only slightly contested hardpoint in that entire rotation. There was always an answer for Team Canada. Here are the replays for map 1. They were up early. It was like 16 or 60 to like 20 something. Then they had a 100-point lead. Then it grew and grew and grew. And we saw what they were able to do in lights, what Royalty and Exotic were able to do, what Diamondcon was shutting down, whatever Jabbawockeez tried to attempt. Team Canada snuffed it out.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like we didn't say Davpatty's name quite enough in this map, but the dude's a menace on this map. You're going to see his score grow quite a bit here with every single clip that comes up on screen. And I finally remembered the matchup that we were talking about. It was indeed Davpatty. I was casting alongside Ali on a Garrison hardpoint, and the man is just nuts with the AR. But supporting him here, he's got a great cast alongside him that can keep up and contribute as well. No crazy 7 sprees or anything that he needs to go on to get this victory. They were really able to just handle Jabbawockeez throughout that entire game. And I want to point out, though, Jabbawockeez certainly no slouch. I mean, we've seen these guys finish top 3 in several major events here for the Challengers Elite Series.
Yeah, we absolutely have. And, kind of looking at this series spread as a whole, again, the maps are basically Garrison Raid, Moscow. We go into a situation where if that's how the gunnies are going to be for Team Canada, and I know that they basically played the same map set like 30 minutes ago, surely the reps at some point will break through for them, and they're just going to say, okay, we know what we did wrong in the last Garrison Hardpoint, we know we did wrong on the S&D, we know what we did wrong on the Garrison Control. They're getting a redo at all of the maps they failed at against No One Shoots Back. That might be the biggest takeaway going into Game 2 and for this entire series, because it was a 6-1 win for No One Shoots Back in that Game 2. Fox, playing all the same maps again, do you think that's a positive?
Oh, it's got to be feeling good for them. I mean, they just came through here, map 1, rinse and repeat, but doubling the score of their competition. And it's Jabbawockeez, again, no slouch. It's going to be tougher and tougher, I think, as we get further on in the series. I don't think that we see a repeat of this stellar performance in Search and Destroy. I think that we see a lot of bite back from Jabbawockeez, a lot of fight coming from them in this next map.
I'm excited. We got Raid S&D almost all ready to go. We're waiting for the players to get into the lobby, and Raid is beautiful, man. In Game 2s, in Game 3s, in Game 4s, it doesn't matter. We have yet to see a full Black Ops 2 playlist. I don't think we've seen a Raid Express and a standoff all the way through yet, but maybe we'll get there during playoffs time. That'd be fun. But it's been so fun. We got Garrison, which is a hectic map for those ARs so far, though. What Davpatty is doing and how Royalty and Exotic are playing. Exotic, doesn't have to put up crazy numbers. He's not going to give you 40, 50 kills a game, but he will give you a solid 20, 25, 30. And that's what matters most. He's going to get kills at big times. He did it there. And Diamondcon, with just the spatial awareness in lights, the things he was pulling off. Garrison is a fun map. We go into Raid now, an even better one. And this series could be very interesting. Now on the brink of going up 2-0. Can somehow, some way, Team Canada maintain this lead, or will we see Jabbawockeez find a way to tie it up? Fox, predictions.
I think that we see Jabbawockeez tie up the series here. I think that Team Canada is going to remain strong and remain the stronger team throughout the series, but Jabbawockeez will absolutely take at least a map off of them. They're going to make it entertaining. This one could very easily go the distance. And you touched on Exotic. I think that Exotic is going to be a really crucial part of this map. He's someone that is always doing the dirty work. He's someone that doesn't mind being the bait. He's someone that's always in and around the objective, Well, you might see the rest of his teammates topping the chart in kills, but this guy's got over 2 minutes of hill time. That's something you can always tune in and expect from him. So expect to see him once again keep his feet moving as a submachine gun player, always in your face and always a part of the action. Try and get that score limit.
Yeah, I like how you said that, right? Like he just in the right place, right time, always keeping his feet moving. 100% agree. We're almost ready to go. Game is starting just now. We got Game 2 S&D locked and loaded. I can't wait to get into it. Again, if you guys are wondering what the rest of the matches look like tonight, this is it. This is the final one. Team Canada versus Jabbawockeez will close out North America for day 2 of stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series. This is the final stage of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series, man. We got like 2 weeks after this of the regular season, tonight included, and then we're off for a little bit. We got playoffs coming up right after that, but this is the final stage for a lot of these teams / players to make a last-ditch attempt, a last-ditch effort at securing their spots in playoffs, their seeding, and finding the roster that works best for them so they could eventually take home the title of best team in their respective region. Off the start, first blood and second for Team Canada, and a team kill that doesn't help anyone. It's a 4-2 advantage.
If you got something to work on, now's the time to get it right. Absolutely. Playoffs coming up. Our second day of competition here, and we are hopping into Game 2. Team Canada finding 2 kills to start off this search and destroy. It looks like one might have been a betrayal there. And so now it's going to be tough for the 2 remaining Jabbawockeez players to work with a man down. They lost Art. Diamond Khan's just going to sit pretty in the corner waiting for someone to challenge him. Zink's in driveway. That's a one-on-one engagement. He will win every time. Again, they're just sniffing him out here. This is a shark on the trail of blood, but Zinks is still winning those gunfights. Shot in the back is the only way you'll shut him down in the gym. Big flex from Zinks in the closing moments of that round there, but it was not enough in the end.
Nice little couple of warning shots into bedroom, but the weights control is perfect for Zinks. Gets 2 in the best play of the round. And that back pressure you have in Lambo, I mean, usually you see, one player trying to rotate through and overextend and catch someone so that anchor's pulled out of position, and then he just collapses around Mansion. But nice shots there. Zinks finds 2, but the round nonetheless goes to Team Canada. Bomb carrier will be royalty. 3 kills in a row for Diamond Khan. Sib might be first blood here. Cannon fodder as he runs out. Everyone falls. And, okay. That's how the round plays out.
Wow. Dropped like flies instantly. Right from the start of their execution, there was failure. Bomb's going to fall down on the A-bomb site. Of course, Team Canada has eyes on that. Fellow is left in a 1 versus 4 as he watched his team's offensive round, the execution, just fall apart.
And, I'm sitting here thinking as we're watching this, it's not a game plan you can follow, but it's one you can hope works. If you can get first and second and third blood that quickly every single round, it's going to spell out successfully, but that has to be at least part of the attempt here for Team Canada. Don't let Fellow or Decimate or Sib get set in a position. Try to catch them right as they're coming off spawn. Try to catch them right as they're moving into their lanes. And if you can basically dictate how the round goes. So far, Diamond Khan has 4 kills. Exotic and Dev Patty both had 1 before Dev Patty gets the opening first blood. A couple of trades there. Finally, for Jabbawockeez, they get advantage for the first time in this game.
Fellow, your bomb carrier, supporting Decimate as he charges into top laundry. Looks like he'll be doing this alone. If he doesn't get the kill, there's no trade. He gets the kill, gets out with his life, but Diamond Khan comes up for free and pops in with the Diamatti. Flank coming in. Bomb carrier is going to seal the deal and do it. Jabbawockeez, they put their first round on the board. What we've seen so far in this search and destroy is in those executions, the AR players, look, we get to watch it again in the round-ending kill cam. Those AR players are the ones that are going to get those first bloods. Looking for it.
Good patience. The engagement was there, but no need to rush one at a time. Don't get picked. Can they find the equalizer? Jabbawockeez 1 round away. Bomb carrier royalty again. Still has yet to find a kill. And Dev Patty, who, we were talking about and praising a lot with his performance in that map 1, he's had a storied career in Challengers, even as far back as early last year, right? When at least he, in terms of our radars in kind of the larger scope of Challengers and Call of Duty, broke into that part.
Absolutely.
He's been so good, and he's easily one of the top prospects in North America with how he plays, even though he gets picked here.
Absolutely. I'm looking to see what this AR player does. Decimate jumping up right there for a stellar angle to catch him at the bottom of the stairs. He did not see that one coming, and really you just got to give it to Decimate and the S&D prowess shining brightly right there. It's going to be royalty left in a 1 versus 2. Very doable, but it will be a tall order. It will not be easy. He's alone on the B-bomb site, so this is a plant. Both players, the remaining players for the side of Jabbawockeez, Zinks and Fellow, have time to get across the map and come to him. You have to imagine that the first place they check is bedroom, especially with where they'll see the bomb is planted. So
and
we'll
that
see how they
quick
work
plant
this
is what
one
you
out.
do. That's what you do on that quick plant. But does he suspect the split? Does he think that Fellow and or Zinx might peel off the play and try to come for the challenge? I mean, if Fellow just checks the bed, that's it. Fellow, he walks around. Oh, God, it's so perfect from Royalty. 1v1. 15 seconds to go. Play time. He just needs one check, but Zinx is hopping up. Zinx hops up, and Royalty gets the 1v2. Oh, perfect.
Royalty said we eat those. The 1v2 play. He drops the bomb on the B bomb site. Very decisive. He knows it's time to tuck and hide in a corner just behind the bed. That's all the cover he needed. He made it work here, and you get to see it all again in a round and kill cam. Well played 1v2. And so now
that's what makes S&D so fun.
Right.
It's so fun.
Right. That's going to extend that Team Canada lead to 2 rounds now. A wonderful offensive round from them. It's now going to be Jabbawockeez' turn to play offense. We're seeing the bomb carrier Fellow accompanied by the entire roster as he moves towards the A site. They'll be met by just 2 members of Team Canada, playing pretty far back behind Laundry. Looks like they're going to decide to hop right into it now. We should expect to see the submachine gun players get aggressive on them just at the same time. Decimate in the window, tagged up and almost wall banged, but gets away with his life. No one chooses to re-challenge here, but they do keep the Laundry players back and at bay. The bomb's not going to go down either. They're still opting to try and win these gun engagements before they play the objective here, Space.
Fellow can use this heady, but can he use the flank positioning? Nope. Push from behind. And there was one player overextending through kitchen. I was wondering who that was. Exotic wins this huge gunfight. Like, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect Exotic to be able to come away victorious against Sib. But up close, as good as ever. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think that was Dav Patty who had rotated through kitchen and was working back to Spiral to help out just in case. And a nice pinch in the timing and the patience from Team Canada. They're up 4-1. Man.
That round really was all about patience. They didn't even bother entering the window of top Laundry after it started to go wrong. They sat back and waited for the Jabbawockeez push to come in. Exotic, once again, as the front line, was there and was able to win his gunfight top Laundry. We're seeing it all go down on pool stairs this time, though. 2 fall. Decimate with another headshot on pool stairs. 3 players from the side of Jabbawockeez in kitchen. So Royalty, it's going to be pretty scary. He gets a kill and is actually able to escape. No one stops him there. They all saw it happen, but now the bomb carrier gets away, and that's a planted A. The 2 players in kitchen have to rotate here soon. They will be met with competition. That's Exotic as the front line. Sat back Laundry. Zinx is the first one to get to it. Almost loses the gunfight with the melee mid-air. The follow-up is there. Canada bringing themselves to game point here.
If Exotic loses that first engagement, that's the round. You lose that even if you're planting. The fact that he walks away from one gunfight and then holds his position at back Laundry, that is what secured the round. Because you're having to play, obviously, off of his presence. You don't know if he's going to come sliding out for the challenge regardless. You're just playing that 1v1. You don't know where bomb is other than, obviously, it's planted, but where's the positioning from the player?
Right,
Exotic wants more. Even Exotic getting a kill or 2, always coming at the most opportune times, and they're always like the biggest kills of the round. I don't know how he does it.
Always in the mix. Exotic making sure his influence is felt. All 4 players supported by him here, moving up through circle. Well-placed nade. It's going to set the tone here, but still, Jabbawockeez, they get slapped right back by Team Canada with 3 straight kills, and Zinx all by himself in a very poor position. No escape route planned for that one. And Team Canada zips it up real quick at 6-1.
Team Canada gets 6-1'd earlier by no one shoots back, and then they come back on raid. Same map pool, they do the same thing. They take their revenge 6-1. I mean, this one was a little bit closer, a little bit slower than the no one shoots back S&D, but it was still a 6-1. The rounds drew themselves out a little bit more, but dude, that was a gentleman's sweep there. I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that the Team Canada has bounced back this hard. Yeah. They've bounced back on these maps. I don't know.
One more will do it. One more will do it. Really stellar performance from them in that search and destroy. You see the coordination. You saw time and time again. It was Exotic and Royalty, I think, setting the tone and the pace for the plays that we're developing there on raid. Exotic. We kind of talked about Exotic being back Laundry and supporting that plant in the 5th round that they won. But I think what's also really important is the one-on-one engagement that Royalty decided to take on middle map. In their rotation from poolside through mid to circle, he ended up killing the player that was inside kitchen. And I'm sure we'll see some repeat of it here in our highlight reel, but a lot of what you're going to see is the perspective of Team Canada. I mean, nearly 6 straight rounds up against Jabbawockeez here. They just danced all over them this round. Of course, the 1v2 from Royalty set up in the bedroom. Just well played, very careful, very patient. We talked about their patience quite a bit this map.
Yeah, and there were multiple instances where like Sib would get first blood, but Team Canada didn't fret off that. They didn't immediately go out for challenges to try to even things up. They took their time, they worked the angles, they trusted their lines of sights and trusted their teammates, and they worked those disadvantages. They were down 4-3 in multiple situations, but they were able to get it back. The team shot was there. They were crispy across the board, and they walk away with a 6-1 win. Now we go to Control and Garrison again. Team Canada have been playing this same stretch of maps for the past hour and a half. And it just feels like they've made all the corrections. And in the Hardpoint, they made corrections. In the S&D, they've clearly fixed things. I mean, I feel like I'd be stupid for not saying they're going to come into the Control and fix it. Because even in the even I can't speak. Even when they played no one shoots back and they lost 3-1, the last 2 rounds were so close. And Team Canada wasn't really shooting back. They were just getting lucky with Exotic's timing. As long as they're continuing to fire on all cylinders like they are, Fox, I have to favor them going into this Control.
Oh yeah, every page of the story so far in this series is spelling out the Team Canada 3-0. Coming back into Garrison, I'm going to keep talking about Jabbawockeez because I have not seen him have a poor performance on this map once. Surrounded by superstars that also have the hot hand. They had the momentum of a 2-0 series lead. Garrison Control is certainly looking very favorable for Team Canada right now. Jabbawockeez though, that resilience, this is a moment for it to shine. This is a moment for you to show that you have it. You know, you got to bounce back. It's been a long day of Call of Duty, I'm sure. A long week, of course, with so many teams qualifying just in the past 4 days. So I'm looking forward to see if they can bring it back here. But really, I think that the stars are aligning in favor of Team Canada quite easily here.
I love the way you put that. I absolutely agree. I think the stars are aligning, and maybe it just comes in the form of one single series, but this is a big series, man. One to bounce back on, one where earlier you had all these maps and modes, the same situation. You weren't able to get it done. It's frustrating, sure, with all the talent on this team. But for a team that came in first place in the 4th Open for Challengers, you can see why. Their plays are just so collected and together and patient. And right now, they are showing they absolutely deserve their qualification through Stage 5. And why they played in those quals is because they are that good. Now, we hop on a Sib's POV, going into the Control on Garrison again. Can he be the self-proclaimed best player in North American Challengers? We will find out on this map.
Zinx on lower mid, catching some players near lights. No one's going to turn that corner and get cut in half, though. Not making that mistake a second time. Progress is being made on both point B and point A. I don't think Jabbawockeez expects to get a whole lot done here by himself, but being a distraction is so important as the plays are unfolding on the opposite side of the map. It took 3 players to come over here and clear out green. Now let's take a look at what's unfolding on B. They've already made it through the second tick. Dropping down to bottom green. Sib shouldn't have won that gunfight. Connects with the second too before being taken down. That's going to make things a little bit difficult here as we're trying to finish up the 3rd tick on B. Someone's got to go big. Fellow takes point, starting to clear it out here. Decimate as well. The duo are going to do it. The submachine guns clear out the B point, but we still have Royalty alive and in the mix, diving right back into the action. I don't think anyone saw him coming up the side right here, and it looks like he might just do it.
He pulled off an Exotic, or what we saw yesterday with Parasite, just sneaking behind the action and getting inside. And there you go, another minute on the clock. And I was just thinking as all this is unfolding, what's the decision making here? Do you put more numbers on A, or do you try to get lucky, send one on a scouting mission and go over to B and close that one out? Well, it was the latter, and they get it done nonetheless. Still, you have plenty of time to be able to figure this one out, as it just seems like one or two key ticks and one or two team wipes is all that it will take. I swear to God, I can speak. 1:21 to go. Decimate currently on the point with 3 and 3. And on a 2 spree. Not challenged yet from top green.
So as we captured point B here for the side of Team Canada, Jabbawockeez actually had more kills than his entire team combined. Just excellent support from that player right there. But of course, the presence of the submachine guns, the positioning of the submachine guns is very important as far as actually collecting the objective. And you see it right here once again, Exotic alongside Royalty and Diamond Con pouring into the hard point. They're about to surpass the first tick, and that's why we're going to see Jabbawockeez step up to the plate from bricks and arches. Zinx at a distance, or Zinx coming in from green. Someone's got to stop him before he blindsides them. They do just that, but Team Canada still caps it. Zinx flank was not enough, and Team Canada puts a round on the board.
Yeah, they went for the challenge on Zinx, but then they just remembered that, hey, they're also in the point, and the only way Zinx comes up for a contest is if, like, he physically just moves up for a contest. So if he never does that, we don't have to challenge, and you can just win the round. And they did just that. That's the breakdown. Welcome to the analyst desk. They take the first round. Team Canada off to a hot start again. It looked a little bit worse for wear, but Royalty sneaks behind the defense, gets inside B, locks it down, puts a minute on the clock, and then the offensive hold, the clamp down on A, was absolute perfect. And now they're only 2 rounds away from winning this series 3-0.
All right, looking at Zinx here on the green side. There will be a player top green here for him shortly, coming from Satellite. The engagements going down on the B site right now are important too, as Sib is going to be the first one to fall. Frontline player goes down. The follow-up needs to come there. Decimate behind him is supposed to get some damage done here, but no kills just yet for anyone from Jabbawockeez on the B side of the map. Now with this flank, Decimate puts the first one on the board in unison with Sib. 3 straight. Lights is your next competition, but a well-placed Semtex is going to delay that battle. Trophy system dropped down, so Decimate should feel comfortable to re-engage here. Lights needs to be watched, but they're winning that one. Big stop right there from Exotic. Once again, trying to stay involved with the objective. Dav Patty follow-up. 2 streak. This man is 10-5, double positive at the moment. Lights is just getting flooded and flooded over and over again by Team Canada players looking to prevent progress on the B control point, and they're doing so successfully. Fellow can't do anything about this.
So much attention is being drawn over to B that they split the resources for Team Canada to send 2 to A just in case. They want more mid-map pressure, which I don't blame them for. Even though Sib escapes, they played basically a numbers game and said, okay, if we can bank on at least getting 2 kills, 3, we can play trade, and at that point, you break down the round, you win the defensive hold, you hold for 1 more team wipe, and you win and go up 2-0. That's fine. But now you have to play off the back foot, and Sib is shooting like this, like this, smacking like it. 25 points, or excuse me, 25 seconds still on the clock. And he's still trying to dip and dive and dance on him, but Exotic will shut him down. Again, pressure for Jabbawockeez to make a decision. They're on A. Do you commit resources here for Team Canada? Do you try to pinch from top green? Royalty is the key here. He gets shut down, Catalyst locked. Now it comes up to Exotic having to make a miracle out of nothing. He gets 1. Can he get both? Exotic needs it just around the corner, and the bait and switch is perfect. Exotic once again going huge on A point. That is the takeaway for today.
Less than 20 seconds on the clock. No point has been captured just yet, but 2 tiers have been achieved on the A site. We still have Team Canada holding it strong on B. They've just been successfully pouring through Lights over and over again, and it doesn't seem like Jabbawockeez has been able to string together the kills to keep them out of it. Clocks stopped as progress is being made on the B site, but Team Canada always so close to the action and make a difference and take them off the point. They win it again. That's 2 straight rounds.
They don't win that round if Exotic doesn't commit to the play. He loses the key factor moving to top green. So the catalyst for this hold is gone. He just says, F it. I'm going to run in, find a kill, and then win the challenge on the point again. Exotic's decision-making when it comes to control today has been literally as close to 10 out of 10 as you could possibly get. I don't know how he's pulling it off. I don't know how he's doing this on the A point, but it's always A. It's never B, it's always A. He finds a way to go hero mode. He is the reason they are up 2-0. This is unreal. Just the confidence in your shot to do that.
4 streak from Exotic, starting off this game also double positive. Guy's just been nuts this series. Certainly a huge contribution to the success of Team Canada in this series thus far. Jabbawockeez. They seem to be limping along here throughout the series as Team Canada draw it to its inevitable conclusion. They might just get their second win in in Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challenger Elite Series tonight. But not out of it just yet. We are looking at the Jabbawockeez defense. Pouring through mid, Decimate's able to find a big double kill right there and get out with his life. Tagged up a bit, but that's okay. He regens, re-engages, and 2 players on middle map here shortly. You're going to need to support Zinx, unless he's just going to be flanked and that guy's going to get away for free. Wow, big stop right there from Decimate and Zinx. Again, keeping the pressure up in the Team Canada spawn. This is the best they've looked so far in this control.
They haven't dealt with Decimate. He's had free reign to roam around. And And now we get into a decision-making side where you're on the attack for Team Canada. You've lost a lot of lives as well. We haven't talked much about that in this control because it's come down to 1 or 2 key gunfights that just don't even get to that realm of possibility. 21 seconds to go. You need to make a decision. Whether it's A or B, you need to make the call. It should be B. You have numbers there. They get 1. There's the break. Exotic won't get A, but don't worry. He just caused the distraction. They get on to B. Now you need the kills to funnel on through. They get them all. First tick done. Second tick almost done. If I'm Jabbawockeez, I maybe throw 1 or 2 looks at this zone, but then I move back to A and I give this up and I focus on the defensive hold. There is no reason to lose lives over a surefire win at B.
Yeah, and B has just been stamped with the Team Canada logo all game long. They've really had it on lock. Lights has been shut down. Catwalk has been probably the only thing really going back and forth in terms of possession and positioning, but Lights has just been a non-negotiable position for Team Canada to dominate all map long, and now all that's left is Satellite and Green, and with all efforts focused towards this right now, you got to imagine the success continues. Dav Patty in the back line,
Wow.
Pepper and shots with the AR. Team Canada wins it. That's it. Just like that. Send them home.
One decision was all that was needed. You just had to go to B, and once it's there, you get a break, you're done. When you need to get a break at the most pivotal moments, Royalty gets 2. Best play of the round here, dodges every single nade, no trophies needed. That is unreal. 3-0 again. Exotic is the MVP of that map. And where was this team against No One Shoots Back? They played all the same maps again in the same order on the same modes, and it's like a completely different roster. This was unreal, dude. This was
They
so
showed up
good.
and wasted no time at all in this 3-0.
They're like, it's 10:30. We want to go to bed. We want to watch some. I don't think I can say things because I
More Call of Duty challengers. That's what
There
we
you-
want to watch
there you
after
go,
we
that's
play
it.
tonight.
But Ali, watching this series, talk to me a little bit about how this series went.
I mean, it was all Dav Patty and Royalty. That's all I really saw from the sidelines here. They continued what they did in the series earlier, and this time got a little bit more help from their teammates, and that's all they really needed. The Jabbawockeez they couldn't pick it back up. Jabbawockeez just could not get their footing, and that allowed Team Canada to capitalize on it and end the day on 3-0 during that series.
It was a hell of a day of Call of Duty, folks. We started off with Europe Mavericks defeating Team War 3-2, which was an absolute banger. Orgless defeating Rejects V2 3-0, which then set the tone for the rest of the day. No One Shoots Back took down Team Canada quickly and easily, and then Team Canada said, you know what we just did, what we just saw, all those maps and modes and the way they were presented, let's just run it back. And they did that, and then they beat Jabbawockeez 3-0. Jabbawockeez, I believe, going into today were at least, in first or second place? I believe they were in first. Team Canada just stunned them in a 3-0 sweep. I mean, that was a stunning 3-0. That S&D was clinical. It was 6-1. That hardpoint was unreal. That control was just perfect from Exotic. Final thoughts, guys. Fox, starting with you, wrapping up today, looking at Europe, looking at North America. Talk to me about how the stage has gone so far, man. It's been wild.
So the core of Team Canada continues to be a powerhouse. They continue to have a stellar lineup here, and they're really showing it all in terms of their performance here against Jabbawockeez, who I expected a whole lot more from in this matchup specifically, I should say, because of course they were towards the top of the leaderboard up until this game. So keep an eye on how these two teams perform, because I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of them coming closer to playoffs.
Ali, talk to me. What are you thinking?
I feel like even though, a lot of our series today ended up being 3-0s, I feel like other than our last match, there was a lot more stories to be told in the maps themselves, and I feel like there was a lot of good put-up fights today, and it just, for EU specifically, I'm very excited about how they're going to toss and turn a little bit. That top 4 in the EU scene, I mean, they have just been having a dominant showing, and then going into NA, after seeing No One Shoots Back absolutely shut down in that 3-0, I don't even know what the top 4 at this point. They could come out and do anything. So it's definitely a lot of exciting Call of Duty we got coming in the next coming of weeks.
Absolutely. I think you wrapped it up perfectly. There's so much exciting Call of Duty still yet to be played, but Stage 5 means the most. And with that all said and done, we leave you at the end. This has been an incredible couple of days of Call of Duty action. We had yesterday with some incredible matches in Europe and some tense finishes in North America, an unbelievable control that still doesn't make sense to me, but Parasite is a god. And now we came into today with a match slate that was one for the record books. Team Canada find a way just to play the same maps and get the win regardless, but we thank the players for showing up and giving their best, and we thank you for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more Challengers Call of Duty content next week. and we'll see you then.